Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Isles of Iverion. Let me move so I'm in frame in my little hexagon here. Hello, welcome. So glad to have you here. My name is Joe. Welcome to Roll with Advantage 5e. This is a Twitch channel where we play D&D a lot. Oh my God, there's so much D&D on this channel, but honestly, makes me so happy. I love D&D. So, today, as with every Saturday, we have the Isles of Iverion, a group that has just started. They are 4 sessions in, so if you're just jumping in today, well, it's a great time to jump in. But before we get started, as if you've been watching every week, or every day this week on Tuesday and then yesterday, you'll notice that each group now has a cinematic introduction, and the same goes for this group. Of course they would. Why would I leave this group out? That'd be so mean. The one thing I will say, before I show you this wonderful introduction for this wonderful group of people, is they don't really have a name yet. So I kind of, based off of session 3, I gave them a name, and I'm letting all of you know, party included, that name is not permanent because it's so bad. But we will get there when we get there. So I think without further ado, we should jump into this intro. So if I could have the tech guy, if I could have the tech guy roll the intro, that'd be awesome. I am the tech guy. All right, let's roll that intro. And we are back. However, they're probably just finishing watching the intro. Yep, there you go. Troop of 12s.
Troop of 12s.
Because there are, last session, you guys rolled so many 12s, and then there just happens to be 12 dwarven artifacts and 12 groups of cultists on the map. So it just fits so well. But that name's not permanent, and that's not your choice, that's my choice. The first chance we get, I'm changing that name.
Wow.
But that is it. Also, new things that I've added since Afera yesterday is now, even in the RP screen, there is, over this direction, Roll20 chat, and then down there is current art, which could be for wherever they're at, just so that way that's still being used. Or if an NPC happens to talk to them, so, let's just happen to say Captain Hugo comes back, show to players, on the stream, you should be able to see his art right there. So, we've got that all updated. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think there is. Aside from the fact that I bit my tongue like 3 days ago and it still hurts. I think that we're ready to start. Yeah. That's something everybody needed to know.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. I think the only thing I need to do here actually is I need to pull up my stream deck on my iPad here. And then we can start.
Fancy.
I know, yeah. I'm very fancy. Can't you tell? Look at, I've got an animated background. So fancy.
This is true.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get Captain Hugo out of there. And then let's go ahead and dive in. So, last we had left off, let's go ahead and move you guys back here because you are currently in the city. And it is also nighttime in the city. Perfect. Alrighty. So, last we had left off, our group of adventurers had found themselves, well, getting involved in some rather deep and dark stuff. where initially they had all come together between two different entities, each one telling them to retrieve a lily, larger than most, with alternating leaves of red and yellow. One claiming that this flower could be used to harm people, and that if it were to fall into the wrong hands, it could cause a great deal of grief for many people. The other person claiming that, used properly, it could help many people overcome diseases and illnesses. Well, the party, you went out, converged all 5 of you, and you found the lily. You brought it back, and you decided that, all things considered, the person that you had decided to give the lily to, Bishop Vizira, seemed not that bad of a person. Well, time would prove that very wrong, as all of you continued to do mission after mission for her, for a total of 2. After the first one, you found that the woman who had been singing in the abandoned mine, luring children and adults in there, apparently she was a necromancer, luring people in and then turning them into zombies, except for the children. The children who had went into that mine, you still have no idea where they're at, other than the fact that they are on a boat somewhere. You also know that when you came back to her to discuss this with her, she seemed a little shaken, that there was so much wrong with this certain set of events. And then shortly after that, your own captain of the town, Captain Darren, he ended up going through some massive type of brain aneurysm almost, where he started to try and scratch something out of his head, bringing him back to Vizira. Well, she said that all of you needed to go immediately, no time to waste, to find a very specific root, King's Root, that would be able to heal him. It would be the only thing that could help him because he's dying, and you need to go get it. You need to go get it right now. And she told you that there was a very dangerous ruin in the middle of the forest outside of town that would have the root you were looking for. After making your way through several different trap-laden puzzles, you eventually made your way to the end, and between the nature smarts of Twig and Izzy, you realize that King's Root isn't real. There's nothing in anything you've ever read that would lead you to believe there is an orange root that exists in at least these forests. And you realize that she was lying to you. She was sending you to your death in the hopes that you wouldn't return. Well, much to her chagrin, you do return. You return with knowledge of the artifacts that you possess, and that she herself had an artifact. A cane that caused feigned trust, that made people around her trust her more than, well, what she really deserved. As you made your way back into town and made your way to the temple, Captain Darren was fine, but Bishop Vizira was nowhere to be seen. All of you started to panic just a little bit, where you wanted to find out where she was because you know that she's a bad person, but you know you couldn't say that because all of these people, at least as far as you knew, still trusted her. So, with some persuasion and, frankly, some intimidation, you convinced Priestess Aida to at least give you some type of hint as to where she might be. Priestess Aida tells you that she knows that sometimes Bishop Vizira would go into her room and she would never come out, but she would leave. She would be able to be gone from where she was. So, with some investigation, you find that she had been hiding a teleportation circle, a very small one, similar to a sending stone, that can go from one location to another. So, you go and you find that she had been hiding in a shack out in the forest that was guarded by 2 zombie ogres. There's a Shrek joke in there that I refuse to make. So, all of you attack the ogres and attack Vizira, and there are a lot of close calls, especially between Grok and Nalfian, as those two were at very, very low HP, but luckily you were able to triumph and not only defeat the ogres, but also you were able to stop Bishop Vizira from escaping and kill her. Eurydice stabbing her right through the heart, and Izzy noticing these black tendrils being absorbed from Vizira into Eurydice. Some very, very dark magic. So Izzy notes that, and, well, you pick up the cane, and you return to Sandpoint through the same teleportation circle after some investigation, finding different maps and letters between different correspondents and people living in different places all around Tarkir and Iverion. In these places denoting 12 different locations, each one with an artifact and apparently a different contact or an entire group of people dedicated to House Markle and the return of that house. House that had disappeared maybe 50, 60 years ago. And no one knows where they went or how they disappeared, but everyone knows that the island that they inhabited is cursed and forsaken. And anyone who goes there doesn't return. With all of that information primed and ready to go, you take it to Captain Darren, who is finally back on his feet. And, well, frankly, a little upset at the information, as anyone would be. He tells you make sure you tell no one aside from the two who know, the priestess in the room with all of you when you told him, the priestess of the Raven Queen, and Priestess Aida. So, the five of you, Captain Darren, and the two priestesses make your way to Lord Bartold's keep. Making your way there after the discovery that Twig, apparently, is the niece of Lord and Lady Barthold. So all of this new information, you begin to make your way to the gate, and with that, Captain Darren gives the command for them to open it up. The gates slowly creak open, and the five of you, Captain Darren and the two priestesses, begin to make your way in through the very resplendent courtyard towards the main manor. So as you're making your way up, Captain Darren turns back to all of you and he says, all right, now listen. Please, when you get in there, there's a good chance that that Lord Barthold was just woken up. So please, make sure that you are being at least slightly respectful. He's not typically a man with a temper, but he is a lord. So show some respect, if any. I know that's not exactly a struggle for some of you, but some of you can
I think, for one, I'm always respectful.
Yeah. So just try and make sure that you use that tone of voice very little. Does that make sense?
All right.
There you go. That's perfect. Perfect. Like I said, he's not a vain man, but better safe than sorry. Especially with what we're going to tell him, all right? Best he's in a good mood when we inform him. All right? Okay. So, Captain Darren then continues to turn around and makes his way up towards the front door, opening it, and the doors open up into a dimly lit, what almost looks like dining hall. So let me go ahead and move you guys there now. So, in the dining hall, you can see that there are two long tables on each side with different chairs set up all along them. The tables are cleared off for the most part. There's not really anything there aside from a few candles and one large hearth off to the far left side of the room that is currently smoldering and crackling with flame. And you can see that near the edge of that main table stands a man who is in very loose clothing. It seems as though he didn't put all of his sort of noble regalia on, but he is still wearing very nice silk clothes. An older man, short, very unkempt hair in the current moment, and a very short trim to his chin and cheeks beard that has a few cowlicks in it, it seems, from having just been woken up. So, go ahead and show Lord Henwick Barthold. So, as you all and Captain Darren make your way in, you can see that he's standing there. Twig, you do not see your aunt in here. It's just him. There are a few guards near each one of the doorways to the left and right. And he stands there, just a coin in his hand, flicking it up and catching it. Here's the door opening, turns, and he says,
"Well, hello, Captain Darren. I heard that this was rather important.
And Twig, he's looking directly down at you.
Twig is like looking like just in the corner of the room, like just at the ground.
I'm sorry, was there something wrong that was done by my niece here?" No, sir, there wasn't. In fact, well, your niece and these other four here, they found something frankly rather disturbing that I think it'd be best if you know about. Well, you all the ones who found it, I'll let you explain.
And he kind of bows off to the side, and you can see the softer, dark blue eyes are very narrowed right now, just staring at all of you, arms completely crossed, coin has stopped flipping. And he slowly begins to walk closer as his heels like click, 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 and echo against the stone walls inside the manor. And he says,
"So, what exactly is so important that I need to be woken up in the middle of the night to be told about? I do not say that angrily. I'll just say you have my full attention."
Nalfian will give like this really overdramatic swooping bow. Nalfian Benier, you may call me. Pleasure,
Oh.
I'm sure, is entirely yours. But...
You're the fighter from the arena.
Oh, you've heard me. Yes, the
Well-
butcher, I know, it's...
No, I've not heard that. Fight Master Aldous and I have dinner, every other night, and he tells me a lot of your, escapades.
Ah, I see. Well, my reputation is quite something, I'm sure. But I will say your niece here, Twig, is quite impressive. She's helped us uncover a lot of really good information I think you'd want to hear. Twig?
Well, I feel like the most pertinent point is the fact that Vizera might not have been all that she was claiming to be.
Nalfin's gonna like put a hand on her shoulder. Exactly, and she wasn't, now she's dead. You're welcome.
The Bishop of the Temple is dead. Is there a reason for that, or did the butcher here decide his job needed to extend outside of the ring?
No, she was a very bad person. We actually found evidence before this occurred. You'll have to forgive him. He's a little blunt. But in a shack, which was tied to a small portal, she was found to be a Markle survivor, or at least a sympathizer. Here's a note that shows evidence. She referred to herself as Lily of the Valley, as well as this banner.
Forgive me, my lord. It's House Markelli. And Rock bows.
Oh god.
It's House Markle, Brock.
That's what I said, Markelli.
Let me see those notes. Give me those letters, please.
Izzy will pass over the letters and also unfold the banner slightly so he can see the symbol.
He looks at it and squinting his eyes, and he reaches down in his shirt and pulls out on a small little, what looks to be like a silver chain, a set of spectacles, and clips them on his nose as he opens up the letters. Sets one on the table, opens up the other one.
And this banner, do you mind if I hold it?
Sure.
He takes it, sets it down on the table, and unfurls it a little more. Staring down at the table, he grabs a chair and slowly pulls it out as it screeches across the stone marbled floor as he sits down, staring at the letters and the banner, hand rubbing against his chin.
You see, I didn't just kill her for the fun of it.
Fear.
I'm
Well,
just being honest.
She didn't give us much of a choice. I would like it to be known that murder wasn't exactly our first option. We wanted to speak to her and to figure out what the truth was, and she attacked us. It was in self-defense.
Captain Darren, is this all accurate?
She,
Yes,
Sorry.
my lord.
she was also practicing Nomomaki.
I believe in
Necromancy.
the common tongue, he means necromancy.
Yes, Lord, that is correct. I trust all of these individuals with my life as if, well, if not for them, I wouldn't be standing here right now. I would have been devoured by zombies in that keep, or in that mine, just a few days ago. Very well. Now, Nalfian, I would have been more inclined to believe you had you opened with this. Tell me you kill a high bishop of the temple and then... Sorry. This is not good. How many people know of this, Darren? Just these 5 and the 2 priestesses behind us. Good. So is there anything else I should know? Anything else any of you discovered?
Yes. We believe that she may have taken a lily that some of us were sent to retrieve that could have dangerous properties, and maybe sending it off to Raven Rock to potentially be used to bring back House Markle. There was also supposed to be a second shipment that, well, we're not completely sure what it was of, but it could be the missing children. And we went down into the mine to try and figure out what was happening. We didn't find any children, and the only lead we have is that they were sent off in some sort of boat. The shipment is talked about in that note.
And just so you know, sir, this is the lily we refer to. It's very dangerous. And Lily, she will use prestidigitation to create a smoky but accurate picture of what the lily looks like in my hand, so he can see what it looks like.
No. No. There was a man who came, not but 4 or 5 days ago, maybe. A captain of a ship. Tried to tell me that someone might be trying to find that lily. Do terrible things with it. Had him escorted out. Somebody was part of just another ruffian trying to get money out of me. So do you have this lily?
The same captain that we spoke to, Joe?
Sounds like it.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything about that.
So do you have the lily, or is it out of your grasp?
Unfortunately, we trusted Vizera like you folks did, and well, it was delivered to her under the pretenses that it was supposed to do great good, and that she was supposed to brew something that was supposed to cure some sort of plague.
and another valid reason why we killed her.
But unfortunately, I believe, as Yuri said, it's headed to Raven Rock.
Well, all of you have done this much thus far. What say you to a little more? I can't go. I can't send messages to any of the other houses. As if I do, even the lords, they'll call the banners, and they'll march on that aisle. I've spent my entire life looking across the horizon to where it is. I know what evil lurks there. Any army, no matter the number sent there, will vanish.
So, you're gonna pay us to go to Raven Rock, then?
Doing the right thing should be payment enough, but yes, I'll pay you.
That's all you had to say?
I'll need several days to acquire the ship and crew and draw up the contract. But in that time, well, I suppose say your last goodbyes to the people of this city, as you'll be heading out. You all are dismissed. I have a few things I need to discuss with Captain Darren and these two priestesses. And you too,
Shouting out to the guards who were by the doors from earlier.
5 of you are staying here. You 5, pointing to all of you. You're dismissed. Thank you for your service. And later this week I will have you summoned back here when I find the ship, the crew, and the contract's finished.
See him pinch his nose, take off the spectacles, and he says,
Do you mind if I keep these letters and this banner? For the time being.
Of course. We just may need the letters later for reference when we do go on the mission.
Of course, after we finished our investigation, you may take them back. And take them with you for all I care. You're dismissed. Go.
see him kind of shoulders sloop and drop as he just stares down at the letters. As the 5 of you are free to go.
Joe, as I head out, I would like to have Lizzie sneak up into the rafters.
Make a stealth check.
This better be good.
I'm sincerely hoping so.
But yeah, just casually spying on the Lord.
But you know,
Do we know?
we've not been very good at picking the right people to trust.
That's valid.
Oh yeah.
And I
Hey.
Oh wow, okay. Alright.
What lizard? There's no lizard.
No pseudo dragon here.
34.
Yeah. Okay. So she's able to climb up to the rafters, and regardless of how wise and perceptive the 2 priestesses in there might be, they're not looking out for anything. So Izzy is able to get in there. So as you are just about to leave, before you do, Lord Barthold, he shouts out,
Twig. I will send by your aunt tomorrow morning to check up on you. Make sure you're doing all right. All right?
Just gonna give like a nod and then start heading out.
shakes his head, and the 5 of you exit. So, as the 5 of you exit and continue on, just so you know, Jareth, in the entire time Lizzie is there, generally what you hear is a lot of back and forth between what exactly is best to do. Captain Darren does believe that there is some merit in letting the other lords know, and then if they do call their banners to ride off to war, it might not be the worst thing ever. And Bartold is very against it. He believes that any of this information, if it were to get out to the wrong people, for one, it wouldn't only endanger the common people, but if anything, it would bolster this cult. The more people that know about it, there's a good chance that more people could go to them. There might be more sympathizers. And Bartold does get off on a rant, and he does start to go on and on and on. And then he does bring up Twig. And I will send you a private message about that.
Don't like this.
Here in a little bit. I will send that during the break, probably, as I don't think it'll really come up anytime before then. So, with that, the 5 of you leave the keep, leaving Darren, Bartold, Aida, the Raven Queen priestess, and the 2 guards in there. And you all make your way out. So, with that, I would like to know where all of you are staying for that night.
Straight to the villa, and y'all are invited.
You say we are invited or we're not invited?
No, you are.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, well, free lodging? Sign
Yeah.
Alfie up.
I'm gonna go to the villa as well because she's got nowhere else to go.
Heck yeah. Alrighty.
Izzy loves Twig, so she will also go.
Yes.
Aww. Okay.
And then on the way, essentially talk to Nelfian about the possibility of making him a dagger.
Yes.
Grok would thank everyone for the offer, but he would be going back to the Salt Shack.
Okay. Alrighty. So 4 of the 5 head off northward towards the villa, but Grok, you still head south and then east towards the Salt Shack, staying in your normal room, getting the same lodgings as you always have, and you are able to keep an eye on your little dinghy. And the other 4 of you are able to make your way back to the villa. So are don't get jumped again. So are the 4 of you discussing anything when you get to the villa, or are you guys just heading straight to bed?
I think that Izzy said something about making Nelfian a dagger.
Yeah. Well, that dragon tooth that Grok gave me, I think I can turn it into a dagger that will create magical energy
me?
from it. Yes.
Absolutely. If you're willing to make it, I will be more than willing to use it.
Well, it would be a great magical item, and not one I can really use, as I prefer not to be in stabbing range.
That's... I will, for once, refrain from making a joke. I think that sounds amazing, and be more than happy to take that off your hands.
Well, it'll take me a few days, but I should be able to get it made.
Alright. You know where to find me. He'll give you a little finger gun and a wink.
Nelphine, you're funny. And then Izzy will kind of go
Among other
off
things.
to like maybe find Twig, feeling a little uncomfortable.
Okay. So yeah, easy enough. As all of you are now inside the villa, which I will go ahead and move you to in about 3 seconds. 1, 2, and 3. Look at that. Hey, all right. It's a nice
Everyone's
little...
not that nice. Jesus Christ.
Bougie.
I'm pretty sure I assassinated somebody in this house.
Yeah, it is art from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but it is an open air villa, which is what it is. All right.
My God, what a caught on that she's fucking nobility.
Yeah, imagine like first sesh rocking up to this.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, it ain't no little shack. So, all of you make your way in, and you are now inside the villa. You have that small conversation with Nalfian. Is there anything else that is the haps in here, or is it just that?
Is my fight tomorrow?
Yeah, your fight would be tomorrow.
Like tomorrow morning? Or is it like later in the day?
It'd be later in the day. I'm pretty sure this one was an evening fight.
Okay, then he will do his training in the morning then.
Okay. Alrighty. Sounds good. Anything else, though? Or is that it?
Does he tell everyone that he's got a fight?
Oh, of course. I mean, he's gonna advertise the fuck out of himself. Before he goes to bed, he will make sure each of you know that his fight is tomorrow and when it is and exactly where to be seated. For the best seats in the house, of course.
Love
And then
that.
he'll go to bed.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. Also, yes, Gemma, I did cut the backgrounds out myself. Oh.
Just let me do it, man. You can ask me these things.
I'm sorry. It was
It would take like 2 seconds.
It only took me 2 seconds too. It's just, I don't know. I just did it.
Gemma probably knows what she's doing a little bit better than you do.
No, like literally, all I need to do is like hide the layer. That's literally it.
Oh,
And
that's
it's
really
there.
fun. Well, luckily, because of the way you made it, all I had to use was like the magic wand tool on Photoshop, and it worked out pretty okay. So,
Meh.
meh. Oh no. Okay. All right. Well, that's fine.
Dumbass.
Oh my god.
God damn. Savage.
Yeah. What is your problem? Don't do this.
Oh god. You know what? Twig doesn't get any downtime. Okay. So.
Downtime.
So. Here we go. Alrighty, so that means everybody heads off to sleep. And you all awake the next morning, bright and early, for your bushy-tailed as well, for your week of downtime. So, with that, I'll go ahead and move you guys to the main city map here. Sandpoint, House Bartold. So, I have to ask, what is everybody's... Let's see. So first things first, let me go ahead and pull up my list of activities for downtime here. Bow.
Yeah, I think you might want to pick one.
Yeah, who you want to start with?
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. View. Woo, man. Alrighty, so just because it's first up on the list here, we will go ahead and start with Izzy. Luckily, Izzy's, yours are pretty easy because this is a lot of stuff that we already talked about before the session. So, let's see here. So the Dragon Tooth Dagger, we already talked about that, and that really just takes you, I think it was a set amount of days of work. It's well within the confines, but the thing is, you could either choose between it being the extra D6 of lightning damage or just the +1 magic weapon.
I am choosing to go with the D6 of lightning damage, with plans to upgrade later.
Which is totally fine. Makes a lot of sense to me. So, with that, you make the dagger. Because you're not really stressed at all about it, I really don't feel the need to make some rolls. Plus, it's not really... the tooth is the thing that's magical. You're really just, like, creating the leather strap and making sure it doesn't explode.
Yeah. No,
so...
Just getting it to focus.
Yeah.
Focus it a little bit, draw some pretty blue runes on it.
Heck yeah, man. Who doesn't love pretty blue runes? So, go ahead and show this to everybody. Show to all players. And Nalfian. So, Izzy, right, you're the one giving this to Nalfian. So you finally finish the dagger. You make your way. Now, do you want to deliver it to Nalfian personally, or do you kind of want to leave it outside his door?
Be gone, so that's why I said he like first thing in the morning he would be spending the entire day training, so he would leave her a note outside her room.
Well, it probably want to be done on the first day, so I mean, like whenever Izzy would run into Nalfian, unless it is done the first day, then she would deliver it at the fight and be like, "Here, try this out." That's up to you, because I know it'd take a few days, but
okay, so yeah,
she'll just deliver it whenever she sees him. She wouldn't really trust anybody in this town.
Yeah, we could say that it's
anymore.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. We could say that it's done by the fight, and you can go ahead and take it to the fight to him that evening. So then we will come to that when we go to Nalfian's fight, because Nalfian's fight is going to be one of the last things that we do. Okay, so dagger is finished for all intents and purposes. Nalfian, you go ahead and add that to your inventory.
Hell yeah.
So then we'll say this is after the fight on the third day. You head to Captain Darren to discuss your contract. So you do find him in Area 7, which is the market/militia, as he's currently shouting out to different guards, giving commands and orders, and then eventually starts his own patrols around the city. And as you run into him in the middle of the street, he greets you with a smile and he says, "Oh, Izzy, hello. How's it going? I haven't seen you in a few days. I hope everything's going all right. All things considered."
Everything's going well. I learned some new magics, and
oh, great.
I actually was seeking you out. I might actually have a business proposition that could help you and the other guards out.
All right. Well, I am all ears. What's your business proposition?
Okay. Well, for example, and I would have already had my own lantern enchanted with this, so that he could, he's got to have a prop.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going on Shark Tank, you need to have it done already.
So, well, I have this spell that creates a magical flame that never goes out, and I enchanted my own lantern to kind of show as an example, and I will pull it out of my backpack, and it is straight lit. And it's kind of like a bluish flame with a little bit of smoke curling around it. But it's not smoke as in it's not really visible or you can smell it. It's just more for my flavor.
Yeah, for the aesthetic purposes. Which I'm all about that aesthetic, yeah.
And I was like, and I was wondering if your guards could use these for patrol. I mean, they put out as much light as torches, and like I said, they never go out. And I will straight up spray it with the water skin to show that you cannot put that thing out.
Wow, that is pretty impressive, actually. So, business proposition. I'm sure you don't want to donate these. I'm sure that you would want some type of compensation for it.
Well, yes. Learning magic is unfortunately not a cheap aspect in its own. So,
of course.
And I am a businesswoman. I can make 13 of these by the end of the week.
Okay.
And I was wondering how you felt about 250 gold for the bunch.
Izzy, I'm going to go ahead and say make a persuasion check with advantage.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're a businesswoman. You know your way around the words. And it is a useful product, especially for town guard.
Oh my goodness, I turned off my extension.
Oh no. That's rough. That's rough, buddy.
That's all right. That's why I keep it in 2 places.
Okay.
I'll definitely take that 17.
17. Whoa. So 250, you say? For 13?
Yes, it's quite an expensive spell component to go into it. That's why the cost.
Of course, I understand. Here, I think we can do that. Just follow me back to the guard post. I need to make sure that we do have the funds there for it. But I think that would be a good investment.
Okay.
I just don't want to make any promises I can't keep.
Well, that's definitely agreeable. I completely understand that.
Okay. So the two of you begin walking through the streets and eventually back into the sort of main guard post. Making your way in, there is a sort of double hearth set up in this area with two different chimneys heading up toward this very square and squat building. As you open it up, it is very flatly, plainly decorated with two different sets of tables and chairs where some guards in no armor are currently sitting playing cards or dice. Weapons set off to the side, and there's one desk in the very far back with a tall, high-backed chair. Seems to be where Captain Darren would sit. He makes his way over, he pulls out a small ledger book, slams it down on the table, and begins to flip it open, reading. So there's 15 gold for the sharpening of the swords, the batting out of the dents in the armor, and... Alright. Might keep us broke for a while, but honestly, with everything that's been going on, I think, the confidence that my soldiers would have, knowing that flames wouldn't go out, I think I have no problem paying 250 gold for 13, right?
Yes, it would be 13.
Alrighty. Well, Izzy?
But what do you mean by broke? I don't want to leave you guys defenseless.
Well, pretty much every 4 months we're given a set of funds from the Lord. And those funds can be used for anything from fixing equipment to purchasing new equipment, anything that I decide is necessary. And we only have 1 month left, and I just had all of the armor fixed and all of the weapons resharpened, so provided there's no collapse of any walls or towers, we should be fine. And if there is something, I'm sure that I could make a bargain for some emergency funds. I'm not too worried about it, but purchasing these would leave us with about 5 gold left over, and that should be enough for anything small that comes up. The lumber's not that expensive, it's the service. And I'm sure some of these soldiers would be willing to work for free if it meant not having to worry about some type of magic shutting off some of their lanterns. Kind of like the 6 soldiers who are in here, they just kind of look over, and they're like, yeah, yep, yeah. They'll kind of slump back into their chairs. See, look at that. Most confident men you ever seen. So, 250 gold? I can do it if you can. He stretches out his hands for a handshake.
Sounds great.
All right.
And I will shake his hand.
With a shake of the hand, over the next week, you make those other 13 lanterns, and he gives you, at the end of the contract, 250 gold, just as you had promised and been contracted for. So, there you go. You now have 250 gold. Congratulations. Alrighty. So there is that. So then what we'll do is we're going to jump to Twig, and then I see here that Izzy and Twig want to hang out a little bit. So we'll do Twig's things first by herself, and then we'll do those two together. So, Twig, you said you wanted to go buy some more bolts.
Well, I was just thinking, like, in the morning, wasn't Aunt Beth meant to come around?
Oh, that is right. Yes. So, just real quick, just that way we get it out of the way. Just for 20 crossbow bolts, it's 1 gold.
Okay.
So if you just want to mark that off. Unless you wanted to get more than 20 crossbow bolts.
No, I'll stick to 20.
20's fine? Alright. So, with that, in the morning, after everybody else has sort of left from the area, Izzy gone off to find Captain Darren, and Nalf gone off to practice, Eurydice gone off to presumably follow Nalfian. and do some other things. She has things she has to do as well.
And I got that 5.
And then Grok already not even there. You are left alone in the house, knowing that Aunt Beth is coming. So, with that, you make your way around the house, just idling, waiting for her to show up. And then about at what would probably be 9, 10 a.m., she does make her way, and she knocks very lightly onto that main door. And, oopsie, I gotta do this here. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. Knocks very politely on that main door, and she says, Grace? Oh, Twig, are you in there?
Yes, I am.
I'm so sorry, my dear. Sorry, your uncle just told me, well, quite a bit of things, and I'm sorry, it just slips my mind sometimes. Here, let's go inside. Kind of. Two of you make your way in. She shuts the door behind her as the two of you make your way to that same dining table where the two of you had sat initially. She says, Your uncle, he had some thoughts to share with me about everything that has been going on, and, well, I wanted to come check up on you and see how you're doing. This is a lot, and I just want to make sure that you're feeling all right, all things considered.
What exactly were those thoughts?
I personally am against it. A young girl of your age especially should not be sent off into the wide world with a group of strangers you've only known for several days, but your uncle is insistent that you go on this ship whenever it arrives, heading off into unknown dangers and strifes. And she reaches out her hand and grabs onto yours and says, Twig, I just don't want anything bad to happen to you.
Oh, well, I hardly see how it would be more risky than staying in a place like this.
Well, if you stay in a place like this, you have me, you have your uncle, you have all of your uncle's soldiers and guards. When you were sent to me all that time ago, I promised your parents that I would keep you safe no matter what. That if you were coming to a strange, far-off island, that you would be safe, and, well, if you leave, I can't keep you safe.
Well, I do know a thing or two about keeping myself safe.
She kind of lets go of your hand and falls back into her lap, and she says, I know you do.
And, well, in all honesty, I don't really think that this is necessarily something that's decided from, well, anyone here, not even Lord Bartold. I think this is something bigger than that. This has to have something to do with fate. I mean, those ruins, it was all over the place.
I'm sure. If this is something that you are... If this is something that you also want, I will support you. Twig, it just worries me is all.
Well, like I said, I'm sure I'll be fine.
All right. If you are sure, absolutely confident, I would at least like to talk to all of these people that you'll be adventuring with. Make sure that there are no misplaced ruffians or ne'er-do-wells or people who will, at the first sight of danger, throw you to the wolves because they are too afraid to face the danger themselves.
Well, obviously you can't be sure, but they all seem nice enough.
All right. Well, I take your word on most things, Twig, but this I need to see for myself. So,
I'll mention it to them.
what I think you should do is on, we'll say, Thursday, bring them to the keep, and we'll all have dinner together. I'll make sure Lord Bartold is busy, as I'm sure he already is with everything happening. But we'll have dinner, and I'll talk to them, I'll get to know them, and then hopefully I'll feel better about you going with them. And if this makes you too uncomfortable, my dear, we don't have to, but it would make me feel better.
Well, I'm sure I can forgo the one evening.
Thank you, Twig. All right, well, I'm sure that you have quite a bit to do if you are going out and into the greater world. Oh, you'll need food, that's for sure. I'll make sure to bake some of your favorites. That way you can have them with you when you go. And oh, you're going to need... I don't know if you're going to be anywhere near cold weather, but I'll need to get you some winter clothes as well, just in case you ever find yourself near... Oh my, I have so much to do. All right, well, do what you need to, and when you come Thursday, I'll make sure to have everything you need before you leave, all right? Oh my, there's so much to do. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, all right. I love you, Twig, and... please stay safe, all right?
You know I try.
As long as fate wills it. All right. She turns and heads out of the villa. You're left sitting there, and then you have the rest of the week up until that dinner. So, you make your way, and you said you wanted to investigate those ruins a little bit more, right?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. So, this is also something I'm sure that in between enchanting and creating magical items that Izzy would also like to join in on. So, would you go get Izzy, or would you want to head there by yourself?
I mean, I'd let her know that I'm going down there, but I'm not sure if she's finishing things. And well, I'll be there for like a decent while, so I expect she will come by whenever she can.
Okay. All right. So, Izzy, considering you have so much to do, would you let her go off on her own first and then join, or would you kind of drop whatever you're doing to go with her? Izzy? Izzy? Uh-oh. All right. Well, I guess that means she's too busy working on stuff. Okay, there we go.
No, I was on mute. So if she didn't say she needed me right away, I would at least like finish like some of the enchanting. I mean, the continual flame is literally in action, so
Oh yeah.
I'd probably just follow after her after like a couple hours.
Okay, alrighty. So that means, Twig, you do end up going into those mines by yourself, and luckily all of the danger has been quenched from this area. There are still guards that are monitoring and patrolling the dwarven mines, trying to find anything useful they can find. But, Twig, as you make your way into the mines, is there anywhere in specific you are going? Or are you...
I'll try to best to describe it, but like, how there was that one area, I think, like, just before we got to, like, big old Necro, where there was, all the little houses.
Oh, yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to go have a little look in there and see if there's anything else inside them that they missed.
Okay, alrighty. So, you make your way in there, making your way through the different interconnected stone chambers. And eventually, after a small bit of walking and ducking and sort of moving out of the way of different guards making their way through, you do make your way back to the small collection of houses and buildings. So, is there anything specific you are looking for, or are you just kind of making a general perusal of everything in this area?
I mean, a kind of general perusal, but she's also interested in the kind of state that it was left in. Like, obviously it's old, but it's also buried. So, like, are there still, you know, like, possessions and things that have been left behind?
Okay. Yeah. Alrighty, make an investigation check for me. Okay, yeah. So, some of the buildings, it's almost impossible to get into because they are collapsed, and if not, they're completely full of rubble, where it just makes it impossible for even someone as small as you to traverse and make your way through. But what you do end up finding is there are 4 or 5 buildings in this general area that are, aside from having to jimmy a lock open, they're easily able to get into and seemingly have been untouched for a long time, as the amount of dust and sort of gravel that is caked on top of some of these furnishings and some of these buildings is ridiculous. So as you make your way in, and it's generally the same in every single household, where there are... It seems like everyone just stopped what they were doing and left it there. In some houses, you can see where there may have once been, on top of maybe like marble or stone plates, along with metal utensils, as if somebody was just about to have dinner and then just left. You can see that digging through different bedrooms in some of these houses, I mean, as soon as you touch them, they practically turn to dust, but there are garments and clothes that are still in here that were left. And you do find several rooms that you would assume belong to children. And like I said, most of the things, because they're so old, luckily they haven't been disturbed, but touching them almost turns them entirely to dust and ash. However, you do find that there are some toys that were carved from stone or forged from metal that look to be different figurines of different, what you would assume would be dwarvish lords, with different shapes of beards and braids. You can even tell that there are a few dwarvish ladies with beards and braids as well.
I'm just going to take a couple of the carved figures.
Okay, yeah. They're about the size of, they would be about twice the size of Twig's palm.
Right.
Yeah. So, take those. So we'll say, for just for funsies, in case she gets into collecting these things, you have, one statuette with a beard with 3 braids, an axe, and a shield. Wait, that's not how you spell braids. Huh. There we go. An axe and a shield. That's not how you spell shield, but that's fine. Then 1 large braid and 2 axes. Whoa. Man, I'm a terrible typer. I was getting so self-conscious the other day. Jamie was watching me type something, and it was even worse. It was honestly the worst.
Performance anxiety, man.
It really is, yeah. 1 large braid, 2 axes, and bald. And then you find a lady with 4 braids. Like 4 braids on her beard. And then 2 swords. Oh, that was a lady. Lady. There you go.
Cool.
Yep. So, you collect those 3 little statuettes. And other than that, that's generally the conclusions that you draw. Is it seems like everything was just dropped and left. And there was no regard to take anything. It was just... It disappeared. It's gone.
Interesting.
Yes.
And also, just like, did she come across any writing, like aside from like the ones that carved into the stones?
You do find what would be tomes of a very, very rough parchment, but it seems as though with time, none of them were properly preserved in areas where they were in either airtight or in a place where they wouldn't be able to get, termites or different bugs. And so most of the scrolls and parchment that you find are completely just worn, and you're not really able to read anything about them. Sadly, nothing else, aside from those tombs that you found hidden away and the one inside the dragon's carcass, those were the only ones that had runes etched into them.
Alright.
Okay. So...
Yeah, I should probably just like spend a bunch of time down there, just like even just after she's gone through things, just kind of going in between the houses and just, just kind of, I guess, sightseeing.
All right, sounds good. So you take a look around, you sightsee, and some of it is so odd. It really is like looking at, aside from the amount of caked dust and dirt, it really is just like getting a slice of life of what these people would have lived like. And it's strange how much it hasn't changed. Kids would still play with toys. Families would still sit down for dinner every night. Still doing all the things that families would do together. And it's just odd seeing that even though they are, a group of people, a race of dwarves that, are either extinct or otherwise, that are very similar to that which most people are today. So at about that time, when you just begin wandering, Izzy, you do eventually get there, as she's kind of finished looking specifically for things and just drinking in Dowie culture. So Izzy, was there anything you wanted to do specifically, or are you just kind of there chit-chatting with her?
Well, as I would get down in there, I would cast Comprehend Languages and Detect Magic, and just kind of explore like she did. Just kind of see if there was like anything to find. I would ask her like if there was anything, any more research she was able to find, or any new clues on what the Dowie were.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe not anything conclusive, but I don't think anything happened here. I can't say for certain, but it's not like there was some invasion or event. They just disappeared. But people don't just disappear, right?
Not entire civilizations, not with something causing it. That in itself is strange.
So what if they didn't disappear? What if they're hiding?
Her face is just lighting up as she's saying this. Just think about this all day.
That's possible. Maybe they moved and hid deeper. Dwarves like to be deep as possible, right? I haven't met very many.
But surely that would still allow them to be detected, right? I mean, do you know of ways of moving whole groups of people?
Is he currently aware of such things that move whole groups of people?
Not to this extent. Just because, I mean, you can tell that from the areas where the artifacts are buried. They seem to be buried in tombs of people who were once great people in Dawi culture. And you can see how widespread their kingdom, quote unquote, once was, spanning the entirety of Tarkir and Iverion. I don't have the numbers right now, but that's some thousands of square miles that their kingdom would have spread throughout. So, aside from something, I mean, Izzy, of course, has heard of things like Wish, that can literally change the fabric of the weave in just saying a few words. So something like that, yeah. But in terms of like anything less than that, nah.
Well, there are a couple of magics that can move small groups of people, like, like 7 or like our group. I don't know them yet, but it's much too small to move a whole civilization. There is some wishes. I've heard of those, completely changing reality. So maybe somebody wished the Dawi away or hidden. Otherwise, it might be some deity.
Oh. Well, I feel like there has to be something, though. I mean, a place like this especially. I don't believe the things saying that would just, well, simple traitors. Seems ridiculous considering, well, all of this. But
Traitors?
Oh no, she would have told you about this. Like, it was in a book. How it said they were like trading with like dragons or something. I don't know.
Oh,
It's in there
gotcha.
somewhere.
Trading with dragons. Well,
is there any way to find out if a wish spell has been used?
maybe if I can detect remnants of the spell. I have my detect magic going on. Maybe we should explore some further.
Okay.
Not just walking through.
So, with comprehend languages on, there is same with Twig. There's nothing still that hasn't been eroded over time that you can read. Anything that you would be able to has been eaten away by mice or just is. It's not just comprehend languages that's the barrier. It's that it's just not legible anymore. In terms of detect magic, every once in a while, there are small blips, whether it be on some place where there might have been a lantern, or there was some type of statue. In the middle of this area, there was a statue of a Dawi person of some kind, probably some type of hero or lord or figure, something of that sort. And there are small little blips on there, but nothing too crazy. If anything, they would have been things to create light magically, very similar to what you had just created and sold to Captain Darren. But other than that, it's nothing too... There's no great remnants of anything like what you might be hoping for.
Okay, so no, like, really super powerful conjuration magic.
No. Sadly.
Wish.
Especially not Wish, yeah. But then you do find a scroll of kill all enemies, and alright.
Even if it melted my mind, I'd read it.
I will keep that in mind.
Oh.
Oh man. Okay, so
I'm getting senses, little small bits here or there when we walk by, like some of the lanterns. and around it like a statue. There must have been a statue here, but nothing that would result in what I think Wish would do.
Unless they had a way to hide that too.
That, I mean, anything is possible with magic, but I definitely don't know how to do that, or even how to find it.
Well, I don't need to offend, but it's not like you're a great mage or anything yet.
I'm working on it.
I mean, maybe we'll find something later.
We could. I'm down to like keep researching and digging, and maybe as we travel, we might get more clues that could lead us back here, or finding out where they disappear to, or how to find them. I mean, this is a little island, and these people here, not to be rude, are relatively simple. Especially if I'm the strongest mage here. We might find
know they
other
have
things
holds
in
everywhere else.
other cities. What was that?
Well, we know they have holds in other places if we go to those places. I mean, sure, we have this thing to do in, what's the name?
Oh, Raven Rock?
Raven Rock, there we go.
But after that, we could maybe go to the others.
This whole culture is fascinating, and what you've told me, I would be more than happy to explore more ruins with you. Besides, we still gotta figure out how to work those tools that the Dawi have that you are now carrying. And those ruins might hold keys to.
Well, whatever it is, it's certainly marked by fate, and I think that it's no coincidence that we both found them. These things were clearly meant to be found.
I agree, especially with that mural we saw in the other ruins. It seems that these may surface when needed, or to fight an oncoming danger, and it seems like the world might be in danger again. Or at least we will be.
I guess that's also a possibility.
If we're going to continue researching these, I do have a favor to ask. Would you teach me how to read their language? Currently, I have to use magic to understand it.
Well, I think that's more than possible. I think I have some books still. Might have things a bit more easier to start off with.
That would be great, and I'll continue help with your research where I can, and tracking down magical traces for you.
Thank you, Izzy.
Of course, this is amazing. I did not know of these people before you. I think
Well,
there's
in
this...
all honesty, the full extent of what's, might have been happening with them is really relatively new to me as well.
Well, I'm sure with the two of us, we will get further. We'll find out.
Agreed.
We'll go back
Was
to like
there-
sifting through things.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. So the two of you head back, sifting through things, and you spend quite a bit of time here. Maybe even coming back a couple days later just to continue to look through to see if you find anything. And like I said, aside from what has already been found, it's really just taking in a culture that is seemingly non-existent anymore. Wondering what different items might be, weirdly shaped pieces of metal and springs that seem to go together, but unsure as to what purpose they might serve. Whatever cultural rituals existed for these people that have been lost to time because there's no one left to tell you about them. But you sit, you wander, you wonder, and you talk and you chit-chat, and a little bit of a friendship is bonded between the two of you over this shared interest in knowledge. So, there we go. So we got Izzy, we got Twig, two of you doing that. That's where you spend most of your time. So we are now going to jump to Eurydice. So, Eurydice, you said something very specific that you wanted to do. So let me go ahead and move around here. So you would have been back in the villa at this point. And let's see. We would be at about midday right now. So Grok, would you have ever have come back to the villa, or would have you just kind of stayed near the salt shack and done your things from there?
I'd probably be staying at the salt shack for now.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I'm just double checking.
For now.
All right. Cool. So, with that, Eurydice, how do you want to try and do what you wanted to do?
I think at the earliest opportunity, so maybe even that night when they go to bed, she is going to, I guess, do the equivalent of meditating, trying to empty her mind as much as possible, and then reach out to that connection and let him know that she wants to talk about something.
Okay, that's interesting. So that first night, okay, yeah. That's interesting. All right, sure. Okay.
I don't know how successful that is.
No. It's really funny. So, you meditate and you wonder, and there might be some chit-chatting downstairs between, say, Nalfian and Izzy when they were first talking of the dagger, and then everybody's getting ready to go to bed. As Eurydice, you just kind of headed straight up to the room you'd been sleeping in, breathing, hoping to make some connection. You hear no voice back. Almost as if your words are falling on deaf ears, or if you are talking to the wrong person, almost. You try and commune, but there's no answer.
Okay.
That night, would you just head straight to sleep and try again in the morning, or are you trying more stuff tonight?
Tonight, I think probably not, because something seems not right. She's gonna go to bed, I think, and then, I don't know, in the morning, probably go hang out with Nalfian for a bit, and then, try again later, so give it a bit of time.
Okay, so we'll say that next morning, Nalfian, Twig, and Eurydice, the three of you would be there before Aunt Bartold shows up, or Aunt Beth shows up. So, three of you are just sort of eating your breakfast, getting ready to go. Nalfian, you are about ready to head out the door, and as you are getting ready to leave, talking to the two of them, there is a very light knock at the door. Twig, for a moment, you kind of twist in your stomach because you think it might be Aunt Beth. There's a voice, a man's voice that comes through. Hello? Hello, I don't mean to interrupt anything, but I was hoping that... is there a Eurydice here?
She's going to look very confused. And then just tell the other two, I'll go see what that is. Stay here.
Are you sure you just want to answer the door to some strange gentleman caller?
Do I recognize the voice?
Not initially, no.
Okay, yes, it'll be fine. If anything is wrong, I'll shout.
Uh-huh.
Hello? Is
Yes,
anyone there?
She's gonna run over to the door and say, yes, I'm here, and she opens the door.
Okay, so, Eurydice, as you open the door, you are shocked. Because you're expecting to see someone else, but the thought floods your brain that this is your uncle.
What?
Not exactly how you remember him, but this is him. Uncle Greenleaf.
What?
His complexion is a little darker than yours, and he wears very nice finery and clothing. And he says, Eurydice, it's so good to see you. I had missed you so much, and, well, we haven't talked in a while, but I'm just very happy to see you. I was told that you might be here, and, well, look at you. You're there. You're there.
Can I hear this conversation from the doorway?
Yeah, you can.
Twig will try and peek around to see who it is because she doesn't like that there's people just arriving here. That is
Fucking
uncomfy.
Dalphian's gonna get up and he's gonna do that thing where he's gonna like lean over Eurydice in front of the doorway, and he's gonna say, "Good morning, friend. What brings you here?"
Hello, I am, I'm Eurydice's uncle. It's great to meet you. And Nalfian, you just feel this. In a similar way how you're sure other people feel about you, you feel that way towards this man. Just that general charisma towards him.
Huh.
And he reaches out his hand to shake and he says, "It's so nice to meet you. What's your name?"
Nalfian will extend his hand. Nalfian Bainer. Pleasure's all yours.
Nalfian Bainir. Tell me, is that... If I'm not mistaken, that's an actual... maybe not exactly, but it sounds like that's a name of those from...
Well, we don't need to talk more about where I'm from. That's not really important. I'm glad you
No.
know of me.
No, of course. It's just not very often I hear
you know
names from
this-
that location.
Right. Eurydice, you know this man.
Eurydice has gone, like every bone in her body just locked, every joint, and she is just,
Oh, and look at that. Are you a mother, Eurydice? Look at that. Oh, hello
no,
there.
No, obviously not. Just let's have a talk. And she's gonna kind of push Nalfian backwards a little bit and be like, "I'll come and see you in a minute," and then shut the door.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll be right here if you need me.
Well, she's actually gonna step out with him,
Oh,
with
okay.
the uncle,
Oh,
Okay.
she should
And,
throw Nalfian's face? God damn. Okay.
and she's just gonna look at him and be like, "How did you find me?"
Well, Well, I heard you last night. Telling me how badly you wanted to see your family, and... Well, I thought it would only be, right for me to come and visit you. You had left in such a hurry last time we spoke. I thought it was only right to find you in person as... Well, I have something I want to give you.
Okay.
Reaching into his cloak, he pulls out a thick, leather-bound tome. You've done a lot of good for our family, Eurydice. And I'm very proud of you, as any uncle should be. So, I'd like to give you this gift. I know that you are a constant pursuer of knowledge, and this will aid in that. Hand you the book.
Takes it.
Oh, Nalfian, you can definitely hear it. In fact, it's almost too clear, as if there was no door in the way at all.
Okay, thank you.
What is this?
Well, it's a gift. From your dear uncle. I know you haven't seen me in a while. And, well, the last time we talked, it wasn't exactly on the best terms. But as a gift from me to you, as a way to hopefully move past those cruel words that have been exchanged between the two of us, I hope you accept this gift with an open heart.
Thank you. I'm sorry that I was how I was last time. I was just a little bit upset and overwhelmed, and yes, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Well, that's all right. Don't worry about it. Just know that the last time I talked to your parents that they understand. And everything's all right. All right?
Yeah.
Good. Well, what do you say we... Oh, it's been so long since I've been to Sandpoint. I'm a fairly well-traveled man, as you know. And I'm sure your friends listening through the door right now know as well, just from the way that I hold myself and the way I dress. Oh, no need to curse, young man, that's all right.
Alfian. I'm sorry. They are just...
Few steps
curious.
back. You don't need to walk away. You can open the door and talk to us if you'd like.
Okay, Nalfian's gonna open the door.
Ah, there you are, dashing young man. Are you sure you wouldn't like to be a mother, Eurydice? Look at him, that jawline, those cheekbones. Quite handsome.
I'm okay for now, thank you. Not that he's not very charming, but for now, I think I'm fine.
Of course.
Wasn't trying to interrupt, was just worried for Eurydice, wanted to make sure she was doing all right.
Fine. Thank you.
No, yes. It's always good. Make sure you surround yourself with companions and friends who will take care of you when family cannot.
Who exactly are you?
Well, hello there, little one. And he kind of crouches down a little bit and he says, I'm Eurydice's uncle. I come from a very far-off place, and well, frankly, her and I haven't talked in a while, but after I talked to her parents and found out what had happened, well, I wanted to come find her. And to piecing together some clues, I found my way here in Sandpoint, and, well, believe it or not, there was a very angry lizard folk in an incense shop who told me exactly where you might be, and, well, I thought that he would be lying, but no, he was correct. Tell me.
Joe, I'm inciting this guy.
Yeah, make an insight check. Oh, yeah.
I did.
No.
Just vibes. Just straight vibes I'm getting from him.
Yeah, no, very, very kind. You know, you would... Oh, Izzy's not there, sadly. This is when she would have been going out to have her conversation, even if I'm not there.
Okay, alright. So he seems fine. He seems fine to me.
No, yeah, he seems just genuinely kind and caring, and
Okay.
yeah. Just a pleasant man. And he says, tell me, I don't like to brag, but sometimes I have quite the skill with magic. I don't know, I hate to presume that all children or all young people like magic, but I would love if you tell me, say, actually, I think I know. Those runes you have on your hood and on your shoulder there, those are Dowie runes, aren't they?
Yes.
That is very interesting. You see, in my world travels, I had come across Dowie runes and Dowie ruins, but I had never had much time to stop and look around or investigate. Is this something that you're interested in?
I suppose.
That's very interesting. Well, tell you what. The Dowie had a very interesting way with traps, where it seemed as though every corner of every ruin they made outside of a few are completely littered with traps, almost to keep people out, or some scholars like to joke it was to keep something in. But I think I have something that might be useful if you ever find yourself spelunking in Dowie ruins. Here. And there is a bit of flourish of arcane energy, and in his hand, it looks to be a small orb of maybe some type of steel or iron. Doesn't seem to have any holes or any blemishes or anything. It's a perfect circle. And he hands it to you, Twig. Here you are. That right there, all you have to do is roll it across the floor, and for about 60 feet, it'll let you know every single trap and poisonous item or deadly item that is within its path, that could harm you on that path. Now, I don't know how many times it will work. I had some salesmen on the corner of a road sell it to me, so I don't even know if it will work, but I have no use for it, as diving into dangerous ruins is not exactly my speed anymore. So, keep that, use it, don't use it, it's up to you. But, Eurydice, I would love to take you out to lunch if that's something you'd be free to do so.
Yes, actually. Today I am free.
Very good. Nalfian, would you like to join? And Twig, if you would like to join us as well, that'd be fine, unless you have some important meeting you have to do today, as kids do.
How did you know my name? I never said anything.
Damn, that was Joe's bad.
Okay. I was scared.
That's okay.
I love that.
So, unless you, young girl, have anything you need to do today, of course, I just merely would like to treat my niece's friends and companions. If not, I completely understand.
As
I already have.
as
plans.
great as an offer that is, I have a fight later today actually that I have to train for, so
Oh.
I appreciate the word and the offer, but this is the last fight in town and I want to make sure it's the best.
Yeah. Of course. Well, I've been to some of the greatest cities in the world, and some even not on this plane of existence, and I've seen some pretty impressive fights, but you know what? Maybe I will stop by. I think it sounds fun, doesn't it, Eurydice? We could stop by and see this great fight. Huh?
Well, the more the merrier. I mean, I do have quite the following, you see. The Butcher, they call me. You can cheer me on if you'd like. I'm sure Eurydice will be there.
You know, actually, there was another pit fighter in the, what was that, I think it was in the plain of Asphodel, and there was a man, he was what was he, have you ever heard of this thing called a Garistro? They are these monstrous beasts, almost like a minotaur, but even stronger, more massive. And he was called the Butcher. And I saw him rip about 45 men in half, wearing their blood like it was a parade. Is that something similar to what you do? After all, the Butcher is a great name for a great warrior.
Well, I will say I've had my fair share of battles, friend. Why don't you come and see for yourself? To be fair, this isn't a fight to the death. I don't think I can get away with that around here. But I ensure you it'll be a show.
Of course. Well, I look forward to it.
Eurydice, I'll see you there.
I'm
right?
sorry, I seem to have
You're all looking at me strange. Was it something I said?
No, not at all. I think we should definitely head out and go to lunch. There are plenty of really nice places in Sandpoint. And I would definitely be at the fight, Alfian. So don't worry, I'll be there cheering you on.
Can I insight Eurydice?
Yeah, make an insight check.
Great.
What do I roll? I just roll nothing, just let him.
You can make a deception check if you'd like.
I'll just see. Actually, I don't know. She's not doing too great right now, so I'll just let him roll and see what he rolls.
I rolled a 17,
17.
my guy.
Oh, I see. She's uncomfy, very much, and looks like she wants this guy away from Nalfian and Twig right now.
Okay. If that's the case, as Nalfian is getting ready to leave, he's going to hug Eurydice very closely and just whisper in her ear, "If you need me to stay, let me know." Well, Eurydice, I will be seeing you later then.
Guess I'll see you later. Make sure you train. You can't lose that fight if it's your last one.
And he will pull away from the hug and look at her to wait to see if she responds to that.
She is just gonna pull away from him and start heading over to the sky and look at Nalfian and just kind of try to give him a reassuring look of, it's okay. I'm going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Is that an actual reassuring look, or internally screaming?
Internally screaming, but it's fine. Fine, it's great. Okay, so let's go. See you later, Nalfian. Twig.
Nalfian will watch them walk away.
Okay. All right. Well, it was great meeting the two of you, and I hope we can catch up some other time. All right.
A pleasure, friend. A pleasure.
Yes. Yes, it was. Farewell. So,
walking away, she's going to kind of say, "Did you have to be so obvious?"
what do you mean?
Just all the stuff about the other planes and...
Oh, no. And he kind of turns around. No, Nalfian. That was his... Yes. And what was the girl's name? Twig, yes. Nalfian Twig. I'm so sorry. And he kind of makes his way back towards the house. And did the two of you turn back around to face him?
Yes.
Yeah, I would.
Well, I said something that for the circles that I'm around typically is fine. I had mentioned Asphodel, and if neither one of you do know, well, then I apologize greatly for bringing this up. And if you don't, Asphodel is one of the 9 circles of hell. Now, the thing is, for the first...
Sorry, friend. Do you just frequently visit the 9 circle of hells? I'm sorry. I think you've lost me.
Well, I frequently visit many different planes of existence. As I said, I am a well-traveled man, and after seeing the corners of every stretch of the earth, of the material plane, well, sometimes you need to venture out to see something exciting, or something worthwhile. For the first 3 layers of the 9 layers of hell, mortals are able to freely travel between them. Provided they have enough coin and enough guards, then they are treated as, well, as royalty. And believe me, the lineage that Eurydice descends from is very rich with coin. So I travel a great deal. Not only have I been to Asphodel or Dis, the first 2 layers of hell, but I have also been to several of the planes of Celestia and to the elemental plane of fire and earth. Haven't been to air yet, and water.
Delphine is like looking at Twig and Eurydice while this is happening. Like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Eurydice
Uh,
is so fucking mortified. Like, uh... it's externally screaming, but just with her face.
Who exactly are you? More so than Eurydice's uncle.
Simply put, I am a man. When I was very young, I was able to get lucky with several different deals between two different arcane institutions. I was able to sell them just the right ingredients and material components they needed in order to grow their educational institutions, and, well, I was the only person in the stretch of the material plane who had what they needed. Right outside of Hearthcrest. So I sold them what they needed, and, well, I've been able to turn gold into more gold, and platinum, and so on and so forth. And now...
Careful, Fred. A man who brags about how much money he has on him doesn't tend to get too far.
Well, I figured I was in trusted company.
You are now feeling is just trying to be helpful.
Jokes. Jokes is all.
Yes. Lunch.
Yes, lunch. Yeah. I just didn't want to cause any pain or strife or fear. I can promise you that as long as she's with me, Eurydice is in very capable hands.
Yep. Yes. Composing herself. Let's go. There's this really, really nice little kind of cafe that kind of faces out across the sea. It's really, really nice.
Oh, yes, of course. And listen, I think it would just be best if we all breathe and relax. And Twig, Nalfian, and Eurydice, you can feel this wave of calmness come over you. Just as any fears or anxiety you were once feeling fade away. Any distrust you still bear towards this man is still there, but you feel much more calm about it.
Oh. Okay.
Right then. Eurydice, I will see you later.
Yes.
It's a pleasure, again, to meet you.
Yes, believe me, Nelfian, Banray, the pleasure is all mine. Well, Eurydice, we shouldn't be waiting any longer. It was a pleasure meeting the both of you, and I hope that we have a chance to meet again. Farewell. He gives a very short bow and turns back towards Eurydice as the two of them begin walking.
Twig, the next time somebody knocks at your door, don't fucking answer it, okay?
I
And
normally don't.
Good. Nothing's gonna head off to train after that shit show.
Yeah, I would know that Twig would show Izzy that little sphere thingy orb.
Okay.
Get her to, ID it, hopefully.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll jump back to that in a second. So we'll say that would have happened when you guys were in your Dwarven ruins together. So for right now, Eurydice, you and Uncle Greenleaf, you head off to
cafe.
to the cafe together. Yeah. Sorry, I was reading your messages.
It's okay.
So as the two of you are walking together, he says, I hope I didn't inspire too much fear in them.
No, I'm sure it was fine.
It's honestly not that fun when it's that easy.
Well, you did kind of mention hell. So...
Oh, yes, but that's neither here nor there. Anyone who can read a book knows that people can freely travel between those realms. It's just a matter of making sure you don't get captured and sold into, any type of soul market or slave market when you're down there. It's common knowledge.
Yes, fair enough.
Guess you shouldn't be consorting with such, imbeciles, but you are here now.
They're not imbeciles, they're just... I don't know. They're good people and they're good friends, and I believe I'm safer with them. So there's that.
Yes,
It
well,
tell me to look out.
if nothing else, they are at least good meat shields.
If you want to put it that way.
Yes, that is the way that I will put it. You know, I don't know, Eurydice. Part of me is apprehensive about what is next in your journey.
Why would you be apprehensive if it looks like we are going to try and stop the uprising of House Smockhole? Really?
But that's such small potatoes compared to everything else that I had planned for you.
What did you have planned exactly?
Well, I can't tell you. That'd ruin the surprise. I just had great things planned for you.
It can still happen, probably. If I just get through this fine, and maybe it'll be good experience. And building. Yes?
I suppose.
Just trust me. It's fine. And any plans you've got, I mean, I've not exactly got a short lifespan, have I?
That is true. I'm not worried about the number of years that you live. I'm worried about what you'll do with them when you are here. Sure, you may live, 200, 250 years. And sure, that's enough time to do some things, but... I just want to make sure that before your life is ended, I want to make sure that it's ended in the name of something great, not in stopping something that, for the most part, is inevitable.
How is it inevitable?
Not this particular thing in general, but it's inevitable that there will always be necromancers who will always try and raise the dead to do something, and somebody will rise up and stop them, but then you know what you'll never stop? More necromancers, unless you were to go to the Shadowfell yourself and destroy the source of necromantic energy, then, well, that's really the only way you would ever stop all necromancers ever, but is that something you'd really want to do? No, I don't think so, because the Shadowfell is full of demons, and not just me type of demons, but others that are... Well, I won't go too deep into them, but...
Doesn't sound like such a bad idea, but I can't say I'm particularly keen on following it. I will do great things. And this, whatever this is that we're doing, I can't see it taking that long. So just let me build on this. And if you really want to make sure that I'm doing great things, then give me more power and I will do more great things.
Well, why do you think I brought you that tome?
Oh, yes, you still haven't quite explained what it is. You just gave me a slightly creepy-looking book, really.
Eurydice, you can't possibly be that daft. I think maybe it is true you have been spending too much time with them.
I'm not... Yes, I know what it is. I'll do great things, okay?
All right.
Promise.
Just remember, it's not just me who wants you to do great things, because if it's only me, then you're not going to be inspired to do anything. But if you want to do them as well, that has the recipe for greatness. But if you're just doing what I tell you to do, then that's not fun for me. There are many who bend their will just because I tell them to.
I want you to do this because you want to do this. You know what can happen if you do this. What can be restored? Things that were once lost.
Yes. Well, I've definitely had enough taste of doing things that you told me to do that I didn't particularly want to. But I do want to do great things.
Well,
Okay, and I won't just do them because you told me.
good. And I understand that must have been a little hard for you to do, so I give you this. Do whatever you need to do with these necromancers. And unless it is something incredibly important, I will let you do all of this, all by yourself. I will only give you help when you ask it of me. I will not interfere at all, unless I deem it is absolutely necessary.
Okay.
All right?
That sounds like a good deal. But I have one question.
Of course.
If I am supposed to do all these great things, you've got all these plans for me, then at the very least, give me a name to refer to you by, apart from just referring to you as him, or Uncle Greenleaf.
What, you don't like it? I thought it was rather dashing.
Fine. It was confusing for several reasons, initially. But just tell me a name, please.
I think fine. I will give you a name. It's only fair. You've been doing everything I've asked up until this point. And sure, I've been giving you an unprecedented amount of power for, really, well, without asking that much of you, but I suppose that it's only fair that you at least have something to refer to me by. So, you can call me Day.
Day.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll take that.
Day.
Thank you.
Now, that's a very personal name. I give that name to very, very, very few people.
Well, I appreciate it very much. And I appreciate the book very much and everything you have given me. And I know sometimes I can act a little bit ungrateful, but I am thankful. Really.
All right. I believe you. And you know what? I didn't even see if you were lying there. I'm deciding to believe you. I don't mean to ever come off as cruel or harsh, Eurydice. I just know what you can do, and the powers you could have, and I want to make sure that you get to do them.
Thank you.
All right. Well, listen, if I'm being entirely honest, I'm really glad they didn't decide to come to lunch with us because I am a very, very, very busy man and I do not have time to get lunch. However, and he pulls into his pouch, and he hands you 1 gold coin. He says, please, get whatever you want on me. You know what? He pulls out 2 more gold coins. There you go. Please, go crazy.
Sure, I'll go crazy with a bagel.
What? Do you think this is the Seraph? Do you think this is Vodolka or Nuafera? No. This is a pit stop on greater places. The 3 gold could get you the finest fish and wine you've ever had in this shit stain of a city.
Yes.
Well, enjoy, and just know, I won't be watching, but I will always be listening. Good luck, Eurydice. I believe in you. And as you are all just, the 2 of you are passing an alley, walking around towards this restaurant, you see just underneath him, underneath his feet, just begin to crackle with fire and this bright yellow electric energy as he just drops into the hole and then disappear, leaving only scorched ground where he was standing.
Okay. Oh, lovely. Not what I was expecting. She's gonna take a second to lean against that wall there in the alley and just have a total what the fuck moment and just kind of process what just happened, and then she'll go get a bagel.
Okay, alrighty. You go get your bagel, which is only 2 copper pieces. Yeah.
So spending money.
So you head away from the area, filling the air around you is this very acrid smell that could be akin to brimstone, perhaps, maybe, kinda. So you head off to get your bagel, and we'll go ahead and take a break right there, and then when we come back, we will take care of Nalfian, we'll take care of Grok, then Nalfian's fight, and then we'll probably end the downtime with dinner, and then something after the dinner between Aunt Beth and the party. Oh, that's so funny. Alrighty, so if you are watching, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate all of you. I would like to thank Alcayar, probably saying that wrong, for the second month of subs. I really appreciate that. That's so nice of you, and you really do not have to do that, but I really, really am appreciative, all of us are, that you are willing to do that. So, we're going to take a break. Please go get some snacks, go get some drinks, go use the restroom, do whatever you want. We will be back in 5 minutes. See you then. Bow. Oh, hello, you can hear me, but now you can also see me. Hello, welcome back. Good to have everybody back. Happy to be back. So we're gonna jump right in, but just because I have the power to do so, I'm gonna play that intro again because I want to watch it again. And for anybody just checking us out, checking in, we have this lovely intro, and I'd love you to see it. So let's watch. Woo! Back to the game. Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. And Amoeba, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy. I enjoy it too. It took a lot of time to edit, but I did it, and I'm proud of it. And I had the thought about that. I need to talk to my players, though, to make sure, because I never, I never want something like that to take away from their enjoyment at the end of the day, but I want to do something like that. But thank you. I appreciate the thing right there. Ooh, man. Alrighty, so with that, I think that we should dive in. So picking up where we left off, the group of 5, you have been sort of split off for the week, doing different things, completing different tasks for one another and for yourselves. Things that have happened so far is Izzy and Twig have done more studying of the Dowie ruins. Twig had a few conversations, or a conversation with Aunt Beth, and Aunt Beth shared her concerns of her going out into the wide world with these 4 people that she really knows nothing about. So this Thursday, towards the end of the week, before everything is set up and ready for you guys to go, they're going to have dinner all together in the manor with Aunt Beth. So you have that to look forward to when you get there. On top of that, Izzy was able to make a contract with Captain Darren and having the city guard purchase a set of her lanterns, 13 of them to be exact, made with continual flame so they continue to burn brightly for 250 gold. Darren happily agreed, thanks to Izzy's persuasive nature as a salesperson, and bought them happily. The other thing that happened was with Eurydice, where Eurydice had a visit from a family member, Uncle Berryleaf, who apparently is this very well-traveled man, not just in the material plane, but to all of the planes, having talked to Nalthian specifically about a fighting pit champion that he saw in Asphodel, the first lair of the 9 hells, and then also saying how he went to Dis and how he's gone to the elemental plane of fire and earth as well, even celestial and the high planes, saying he's been to all of these places, very well traveled. All of you getting really nervous about that, and then getting so nervous that he ends up calming all of you down just from his presence. It is the most bizarre thing. You still felt any type of distrust, but you were much more calm about it, much more relaxed. But as soon as he left, some of that anxiety started to come back. Not in a way that it was noticeable, but it just started to creep back up. Eventually, Eurydice, you and him talked about how he'll leave you alone, and he'll let you do this thing that you so badly want to do if it makes you feel better. How he's just happy if you're happy. So, you talk. He gives you some money, some gold, so you can go get some lunch, and you decide to pocket most of that gold and just get a bagel, which is not very expensive at all. So, you eat your bagel, and then you go and find a case, a leather-bound case. So we'll just say 5 silver pieces for a leather-bound cover for that, for your tome.
Thank you. Also,
yes.
I was just wondering, once she's done that, what time in the day would it be, roughly?
Probably about noon.
Okay. I don't know, she might go find Nalthian, actually. Because she was going to do that originally.
Okay, so we will come to that in a moment. But I believe, Eurydice, that was all you had for your downtime, aside from Nell's fight and getting to talking to the party a little bit more. So
that's it.
Let me note that. Yuri is with Nelf. Wait a second. Okay, that's fine. All right. So I'll just remember that for later, because right now we are going to go to Grok. So Grok, you, that night, I have a feeling you are not headed straight to the Salt Shack.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. Okay. So, Grok, you are heading away from the manor right now. Everybody's heading back to their respective places. I'm kind of curious, where are you heading?
I'd be going to like taverns that aren't the Salt Shack near the docks, and I'd just be looking out for any sailors that I recognize.
All right, sounds good. So, Grok, you make your way through the dark city streets of Sandpoint, looking for any taverns, and you find a couple. You find a couple nice ones, but you know they're not going to be in some nice tavern. The sailors you're looking for are going to be avoiding the Salt Shack, but they're going to be in the next cheapest place. You find another tavern and inn that's right near the dock, the Rusty Anchor. You make your way in, and you can see, sitting at a table, the aloof, scowling into his empty, watered-down ale. Same sailor who has been a thorn in your side for the past week and a half. See, he's kind of drunk, a little groggy, just fucking hobgoblin, fucking killing them. Fucking asshole, fuck. Fucking teach him a lesson. Not even notice that you walked in, even with your heavy footfalls. He's just so gone, so drunk, staring into that mug. Doesn't even notice you walked in.
I'd find a table, like, behind him, and just, like, basically, like, back to the wall, if I can, and basically just not make a scene, but I'm also not going to be stalled. I'm just going to be staring at this guy.
Okay, all right, yeah, sure, you can do that. Easy enough. He's so gone, and most of the people in here this late at night are absolutely gone. There is a tavern maid who comes over to you, and she says, "Hello there, love. Can I get you a drink, or something stronger than that? Some food, maybe? What are you thinking?"
No, thanks, love. Just a half pint of ale.
All right, sounds good. She heads back, and a few moments later comes back with your tankard of ale. Half tankard, just like you said. Whenever you're ready to pay. If that's it, just 5 copper.
Yeah, I'll just throw it on the table.
Okay.
Like, not even, like, really looking up to react.
Okay. She takes it, stuffs it in her clothes, and heads away, seeing that you are definitely not here for the food and drink. You're here for something else. So she heads away, and you are left to stare. So, you can see him just sort of staring down at the ale every once in a while, lifting it up to... As he goes to drink, it just kind of spills over his chin and dribbles onto his clothes. As he wipes his face. Fucking you gross ass ale is fucking stupid. I hate this place. Not like I can leave. The crew's dead. Fuck. After a few moments, he eventually goes to stand, stumbles up, throws a few coppers down onto the table. "There's your fucking money." And then stumbles his way, hand falling onto the side of the door frame of the tavern. And he stumbles out of the building and walks, turning left, heading east, towards the Salt Shack, actually. You follow him out?
Yeah, I'm just gonna just gonna follow.
Okay. So, stumbling, he is so drunk, just tripping over his own footfalls. Every once in a while, he almost trips and falls, but keeps his balance as he's just mumbling and grumbling to himself. Eventually, he stops by one house. You can see him pull down his pants and start to urinate all over somebody's house as he mumbles and grumbles some more.
Fuck.
Do you do anything, or you just keep watching?
I'm just gonna keep watching for now.
Okay.
Like, I'm
So-
staying, like, a distance back. Not, like, too close, but not too far.
Okay. Yeah, eventually stops urinating, pulls up his pants, and he continues to move. Eventually, he makes his way towards the dock. Looking around.
Where's that ship? Fucking small ass boat. Where's it at? Fucking show him.
You can see that out of a small satchel that he has on, you can see he's grabbing in towards it. You can see him pull out some type of glass bottle of liquid with a what looks to be a rag coming out of the top of it.
Where's it at? Small ship.
As I see him kind of muttering to himself and does that, I'm gonna walk over to him, and put a hand on his shoulder, like a massive hand, and I'm gonna cast
the one
command. Yeah,
Okay.
no, actually, just my bare hand. But I'm gonna cast command and just say, follow.
Shit, okay, what type of saving throw is that?
It is wisdom versus his
Yeah.
DC.
Okay, alright, what's your DC?
13.
13, okay. Alrighty. That is a 7. So he, holding the bottle in his hand, something you've seen before, a type of explosive cocktail. But he looks up.
Alright.
And you can see him grunting, trying to pull away, but he is following.
And I'm just gonna basically like, as far as I remember, this being like the shitty part of town and near the docks, I would assume there's probably a gate not too far from here leading to, I'd assume, either outskirts or just wilderness.
Kind of. The thing is, you have to go...
Or at least even a trail.
A trail, yes. There is a small... Here, I'll move you to the map so you can see. There is a small patch of wilderness inside the city that is right next to that shitty part of town. So if you were right near the salt shack right here, this wilderness right here, otherwise you'd have to go all the way northward through town up towards the villa.
Then yeah, I'd make him follow me that way. And if he dawdles, I'll get behind him and just kind of like prod him in the back and just keep him moving.
Okay, cool. So yeah, do it. He follows you.
Where are you taking me?
Shut the fuck up. Fucking human. Fucking call me gobber. Fucking move, prick.
Fuck. Okay. He follows. He shuts the fuck up. All right. He follows you all the way there.
Rock's gonna take his anchor and put it on the ground and say, right, you're gonna give me a real fight. No one of your fucking mates this time. You fucking soft lad.
Okay.
And as soon as he's gonna go to swing for Grok, Grok's gonna use the gauntlet and smash his fucking head.
Okay. Alrighty. So you can see that he sort of raises his fists up, getting ready to swing. And as you do, you are just so much faster than him. You are so much better than him. You take 2 quick steps and you go to swing. No attack roll necessary. He is plastered out of his mind. He doesn't have any of his reflexes. As you swing, the gauntlet slams into the side of his head, like right near where his the jaw connects to his skull, right near his temple. You slam in there and you can hear the bone crack and shatter in multiple different places as all of those bones jam into his brain as he falls over onto the ground, not even able to put up any fight, as you just obliterate him with one blow from that gauntlet. However, Grok, as you slam the gauntlet into his head and he falls over dead, you can see that on the fingers, the knuckles where you had made contact with the gauntlet, that blood that should be drifting off right now stays. And it slowly seeps into the gauntlet. And you can see the gauntlet begin to glow this dull, dull blue, pale color. Like the last bit of light you see when you are far, far below the ocean. You can feel the gauntlet grow a little tighter on your fingers. And you can feel a connection being made with it. So, you have awakened your magical item. Oh. Okay. So, go ahead and get this here. Alrighty. So pretty much what the gauntlet allows you to do is attempt to control undead. So, as an action, for one undead creature that you can see with, that you can see and can hear you, you can attempt to bring them under your control. So pretty much they make a wisdom or charisma saving throw. It's their choice. And if they fail, they are subservient to you. And until either their master dies or until you are knocked unconscious, you are in control of them. And that DC is equal to your spell save DC.
Awesome.
Wisdom. Charisma. Let me finish typing this. Saving throw. If they fail, they are under your command until you are knocked unconscious or their master dies. So whoever brought them into existence. Now there are some exemptions to this. For example, if you were to try to take control of somebody who made themselves undead willingly, whether that be somebody who chose to become a zombie or like a lich or a mummy, it wouldn't work on them. But almost every other type of undead it would work on.
Okay.
So there you go. The gauntlet tightens on your hand, though, and you can feel it squeeze a little bit. But you still have some room to remove your hand from the gauntlet. But you can feel that power begin to course through it, and as soon as the blood is absorbed, the light fades away and is no longer there.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to drag this corpse by the
Okay.
through here and basically come to this cliff edge.
Oh God. Okay. So
Like, he's not being
Dragging
subtle, he's straight up fucking dragging this corpse.
Oh yeah, dragging it. You can see the bits of blood leaking from the brain and the skull, just slowly leaving a trail behind you, and just these like dotted tracks, as it's not one continuous flow of blood. So eventually, you drag him, get him to the cliff.
He's literally just gonna like place the corpse at the bottom of his feet and just fucking boot him off, and then cast Sink.
Oh, fuck! Okay. And since it's a corpse, there's no saving throw. It just fucking sinks, man. Oh, God. Okay. So, yeah. And you can see that... Oh, it...
Yeah.
As you kick it off, there's a very steep drop-off right along this cliffside. As you do, you can see it slowly begin to sink, and eventually it is no longer illuminated by that moonlight and just begins to sink until it's in nothingness. And let me... Grok, I'd like you to roll a D100 for me.
Okay. And he will also spit on the ground and say, "Bet me deserve, you fucking prick."
Okay. So, yeah, also, it doesn't matter. Even if you're Cyrus or Grok, you can't escape rolling that D100. So, as you stand over there, spit in the ground, say those words, looking down, you think that for a moment you see something. Flash of light, maybe. Flash of something moving under the water. Not a corpse, that's for sure. He's dead. He was not coming back. But something happened near where that corpse was, and you're not afraid. You feel good. You feel content. So, Grok, heading back to the salt shack?
Yes.
Okay.
And Grok is going to enjoy a nice evening stroll.
Okay, sounds good. Taking in the air, it is a clear moonlit night, and you feel better than you felt in months. Taking in the fresh air, eventually you get back to the salt shack, get back up to your room, and you are very clearly able to see your boat from where your room is. So, Grok, that is the end of your first night of Downtime. So then, what an eventful first day. You wake up the next morning, and as I come to understand it, there are some things that you would like to accomplish in your first couple of days here.
Yes.
Yeah. So, let's see. Do you want to start with the fighting pits, the horn, or the teeth?
I'll go horn, first of all.
Okay. Alrighty. So, you are able to very easily find somebody who does work with creating anything from glassware or drinkware in the market. And the two of you are able to very easily hash out a price of, we'll say, taking the horn and turning it into just like a normal, just a normal drinking horn, or do you want like a
No, I want like almost like an instrument. I want something that I can get the attention of, like whether it's going into like a port, and I can blow like the Horn of Gondor.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm well aware. So then he directs you, now knowing what exactly you want. He directs you to somebody else who is skilled in making musical instruments. So turning this thing into a musical instrument will take a little bit more effort. So we'll just say over the course of 5 days, he can turn that horn into a blowhorn for 3 gold.
Oh, bargain. Yeah, done.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even haggle.
Okay. Alrighty. So, sounds good to me. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, Grok, you purchased the process for the horn. That's awesome. Then you're going to move on to the teeth, right? Or did you want to head to the pit first? It's up to you.
I'd say I'd probably go to the pit, because I think he'd want to speak to Nalvian anyway.
Okay. So, let's see. Do you want to try and talk to him before or after his fight?
Probably before. Grok's pretty dumb. He wouldn't really take into consideration that Nalvian is training. He'd be like, "You're alright, mate."
Okay, alrighty. So we will come back to you in a second, Grok. I just heard Kayla laugh from the other room, which is really funny. So we'll come back to you in a second as you begin to try and find Nalfian, and also Eurydice is trying to find Nalfian. So Nalfian, we're going to come to you now, and we'll come back to those two here in a second. So let me go ahead and do something real quick. So you wanted to go and do some training, right? Meditating, training?
Yes.
Correct. All right. Very cool. So you spend that first morning after your very choice interaction with Uncle Greenleaf. You head off and you do some training, as anyone would want to if they were going to head into some type of deadly future. So, what does Nalfian do for his training?
I think that he would find a more secluded area in the fighting pits if there's no fight scheduled for this day, or if it's later in the day. I'm sure there'd be some people down there. But he's not necessarily interested in working with anyone else because, quite frankly, no one else is to his level. So he would probably find a more secluded spot where he can meditate first. I think that there's been something that he's been trying to get a better control of. So he's trying to focus in on that before he starts his training.
Okay.
Well, a more secluded part of the fighting pit, if there is such a place. If not, he'll make something.
Okay, yeah, easy enough. In the fighting pits, there are multiple interconnected chambers where people can go for private training. There are quite a few monks who work in the fighting pits as well as contracted fighters, and they tend to like to have private areas to meditate. And easy enough, somebody with your renown in this fighting pit in particular, yeah, you're definitely able to get that private area. So you head into a room and you can see it's got very soft, grainy sand floors, simple wooden barricades keeping you in, and a solid wooden door to prevent any amount of sound or people peering in. So you begin your meditation. And Nalfian, what exactly are you trying to focus on?
Before he starts anything, he will take out his locket, kiss it, and then press it to his head. Put it back, tuck it away so it's safe. And specifically, he's trying to focus on splitting the two halves. There's the two halves of him that he's in constant battle with. He's trying to focus on finding balance between the two of them.
Okay. Alrighty. Sounds good to me.
So, for example, because he is a dual wielder and he's very confident in both of his arms, he is left-handed and he trusts one half of him more than he trusts the other. He would rather put that energy into that hand than the other.
Okay. So you begin to focus and channel, thinking about all of those things, thinking about how you feel when you get into those intense moments, those aggressive moments, and you can feel that shadow come over you, that darkness come over you. You're not afraid of darkness, but you think about how you wish you could better channel it, how you could better grow to use it. You close your eyes and you meditate, thinking and feeling. And after a few moments of concentrated breathing, same techniques that you were taught a long time ago, as you open your eyes, there is somebody sitting in front of you. Not just anybody. I mean, he's dashing, he's handsome, he's got nice cheekbones. It's you. An echo of you, for sure. Shadowy and opaque, you're able to see through him. Wisps of smoke covering him, and instead of eyes of silver like you, they are glowing eyes of red. So, I will share this with just you and the viewers at home.
Oh, fuck. That's fucking cool. And also
So,
terrifying.
Nalfian, as you open your eyes, you see that, but it's your face. There's no denying that. And as the eyes open, there is this red light that fills the room. And he says, "Hi there, handsome."
Well, fuck, I'm more good looking than I thought.
I can say the same, too.
Yeah, this'll do. And Nalfian is going to slowly stand up and do that, like, mirror thing to, like, make sure his hand raises when his hand raises and, kind of, like, get a feel for how it's going to react to his actions.
Okay. You can see that as you start to do that, the shadow says, "Would you like me to copy you? Or are you..."
Fuck, is that how this works?
"Listen, if that's what you want me to do, just think it, and I'll do exactly," and now starts to echo you perfectly, "what you want me to do. But I'm you, you're me. Whatever you want, I'll do."
Great. Nalfian is going to, like, toss him, like, I don't know, I assume in this place there's, like, practice weapons, and just gonna, like, toss him something, and they're gonna just spar, and he's gonna fucking practice with himself. That
Okay.
sounds weird.
So as you toss him a blade, he does catch it, and he says, "Wouldn't it be more fair if..." And he throws it to the side, and you can see the shadow coalesce around his hands, growing a dagger and a rapier, exactly the same as yours. "Wouldn't it be more fair if we practice with the same weapons?"
Fuck, I'm so fucking clever. And Nalfian is just gonna, like, charge at him.
Okay, so as you do, you guys are matched blow for blow. I mean, any thrust or pierce or dodge or slash that you make, your echo, your shadow is exactly there with you. Pierce, for slash, dodge for dodge for dodge for dodge. You are just... not very many times against somebody of your own size and stature have you had issues with, but you are starting to work up a sweat fighting yourself. So the sparring goes on for a while. Do you stop or do you just keep going until it would be time for your fight?
This is what he would be focused on the entire time.
Okay. Alrighty. Sounds good. So your shadow working with you. Now, eventually, Grok and Eurydice, the two of you end up getting to the tavern at the same time. Or getting to the fighting pit at the same time, and eventually pairing together, and eventually determining both of you are here for Nalfian. And you ask around, and people tell you that, "Oh yeah, we saw him go down that way. I think he's in, like, the first door on the left." So after you hear that, Grok, Eurydice, how do the two of you approach this door that Nalfian is supposedly behind?
Eurydice's instinct would be to knock, but I'm not totally sure that's what Grok's going to do.
I think if she would have held up a hand to knock, like, as her hand's going towards it, Grox opened the door and walked in.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so Nalfian, as you are going back and forth, piercing, dodging, as soon as the door creaks open and you look, you can feel the shadow cut across the side of your cheek, and there is a small stream of blood that begins to pour. The shadow fades away, absorbed back into you. You can see where it was almost like bending around the light in the room, creating from your own shadow. It goes right back into the shadow on the ground and sort of fades away. You have a small cut on your cheek from the sparring. And Grok opens the door. You see Grok there. Eurydice looks in hand or door opening position, but Grok blew right past her. So you see the two of them enter, and the two of you can see a small cut on Nalfian's cheek that looks really fresh.
Do you want to borrow my razor? It's sharp. I don't use it. I've got this. I just let the beard grow.
Grok, fuck, that's fucking funny. No, practice. Fight later.
How?
Don't worry about it.
How did you cut yourself?
Funny you should ask. You're coming to the fight later, right? You'll see. You'll see.
Okay.
Grok, my friend. How are you today? Did you get a drink already?
I have last night. I've not this morning yet. But I've always got time for a nail.
All right. Well, come on. And Alfin just kind of like stretches and he like wipes the blood off his face. Eurydice, let's go. Let's go get a drink before the fight. Y'all
Yeah.
came to find me, I assume. You're here.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I definitely did. I think Rock did too. Just wondering what that was. But I guess I'll see you later.
Yeah,
that- Yeah, that's called perfection, but you'll see more of that later.
I've got a couple of things I need to ask you in private when we get a chance. No offense, Eurydice. But I need a word with an Alfie, I'm afraid, at some point.
That's fine. Yeah. I can just leave you two now. I mean, the tavern's just.
I mean, you can get us a couple ales if you don't mind.
No, that's fine. I'll go do that. You two have your alone time. To just smile and then turn around.
Okay.
Rock would be
She leaves.
clueless at that joke.
So Nalfi and Grok, you two are left alone in this small 5x10 room. Big enough for two
Sweaty
people.
Nalf.
Very sweaty Nalf.
Right. I need you to you can't tell the rest about this.
Alright, what'd you do?
Well, I mean, I was going to tell you the story, but I killed someone last night. That's Jamie laughing, but Grok just like straight up says it like that.
Oh, and who the fuck did you kill?
Oh, some fucking sailor. Do you want to? Shall I tell you the story?
Yes?
Right. So, do you remember the other night when you, me, and Eurydice were having a nice night in the pub, right? Well, you lot went off to Twig's villa, and I went back to the inn.
Right.
And a group of 6 fucking sailors jumped me. Now, granted, I did start the fight last week. He called me Gobbo, so I throw a pig at him. You know, as you do.
Sounds right. That sounds about right.
And like Grok will like kind of pull down like his chain shirt, and like just above like his tattoo on his neck, he's got like a cut where he like tried to cut his throat and be like, "Fucking jump me, fucking cowards."
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry I wasn't there. I was a bit fucking wasted myself. I'm glad you're alright.
Well, yeah, I'm fine. I mean, I'll be honest. I'd have been a bit knackered if do you remember that bard that was playing? Well, I don't know if he introduced. His name's Amron, anyway.
At the tavern, the same one who was telling all those stories and fuck all.
Aye, that's the one. Anyway, he turns up middle of the night and just fucking kills the rest of them. Like the other, just throws knives, 4 of them, just fucking dead.
Well, that's pretty fucking convenient, don't you think?
I don't know. I just thought I was quite lucky. Is that not a normal thing that happens in this town?
I guess it is today.
Anyway,
And where's he now?
oh, he's in Ravens Rock. And he's offered me an invite, or he said whenever we're next there, which is, oh, now you say it's awfully convenient. We're going there.
We'll have to thank him.
Oh. Anyway, that's a problem for shit. And he pulls his finger out and starts counting. Next week, I don't know. Anyway, the sailor that tried to jump me, I found him last night. Anyway, the problem's dealt with. He's fucking dead. I'm telling you, because I need you to have me back. If you see any dodgy fucking sailors giving me looks, I mean, they shouldn't find out. I mean, I wasn't subtle. I smashed his fucking head in. But if you see any dodgy looks, then just, let me know, and I can count on you to handle it with me.
Grok, my friend. You can trust me. I've got your back, as long as you've got mine, and we'll handle our business if we have to. You did good. I would have done the same.
Oh, I threw him right down to the fucking bottom of the ocean, prick. And lastly, this one's more of a favour. I'm a bit skint on coin, you see. Besides that, that priest's money. I was thinking, could you put in a word with Aldous and just get? I don't want any big fights. I just want to smash someone's fucking head in and get paid for it. Do you know what I mean? Keep me abilities sharp. Drunk sailors aren't
Grok,
much of a
I
fight.
can get you in. I can get you in for sure. Oh no. Aldous can work fucking wonders. You want to make some money and you want to make some money fast? This is the place to do it. I'll talk to him. Maybe you can open for me.
Oh, what? I'm ready to fight whenever. I mean, I'll fight right now. Point me in anyone's direction, I'll fucking deck him.
Let me talk to Aldous and let me get you something set up and make some money from it first.
Right, sound nice one, Alfian. Let's go get some ale.
Kind of like laughed to himself and I guess follow wherever Eurydice went to get the drinks.
Okay, alrighty. Yeah, there is a small tavern that is attached to the fighting pits. That way, as soon as people get done watching the fight, they can head straight to that tavern to eat and drink to their heart's content. Talk to some of the fighters who had fought in the ring. So, Nalfian, you'd be really familiar with this place. So, you make your way in, and you can see Eurydice's already there. Eurydice, would you have ordered drinks for everybody, or just wait until they got there to place some orders?
No, she got drinks for them, so they'd be there by the time they get there.
Okay, alrighty. So, sitting at a table, you can see there are already drinks waiting for you, Nalfian and Grok.
Hi, you two.
Great. Nalfian will just slide on in. Say again?
You two done with your private time?
Oh, yes, we're quite done.
Private time. It was just a conversation. Oh, I see. Yeah, thank you. And he'll pick up the mug of ale and just fucking like in a really gross way, just down it, but half of it's just pouring down his chin.
Nalfian will raise his glass to cheers Grok and then realize he's already drinking. Cheers him anyway. Takes a drink and looks at Eurydice. Well, you were looking for me too. What can I do for you?
I was mostly just gonna come and say hi. That's mostly it, to be honest.
Insight check.
Make an insight check.
Sure.
Well, that's what she wants.
Come by. Oh, did we lose somebody?
Yeah.
No, he's back.
Did we?
Jamie's back.
Okay, there we go.
It was all a bit robot, so I just rejoined.
Okay.
Yeah, she
Ah.
just wanted to come see you. Mostly, that's really it.
Well, hello. You have some very lovely family members.
Yeah,
What? You've got family in town?
I could.
Oh,
Yeah,
she's got some fucking family for sure. This Greenleaf, quite a fucking work if you ask me.
Fucking name's Greenleaf.
My
Why not
name.
Red Leaf? Why not Brown Leaf? It's your name.
How's
Oh,
it
sorry.
my name?
Sorry.
Eurydice Greenleaf is your.
Yes, well, people don't actually get to choose their last names.
See, I'm a bit confused. My name's just Croc.
Well, yeah, he stopped by. Rather unexpectedly.
Eurydice, I will be honest. You looked very uncomfortable. That's why I asked if you want me to. Is there a reason why you were so uncomfortable with him being there? Did he threaten you? And Grok and I can handle it if you want us to take care of him.
No, it's fine. I was just surprised. I wasn't expecting to see him. So when he turned up, it was just a little bit shocking.
Insight check. Oh my fuck.
Oh my
Never
god.
mind. Doesn't matter anyway.
Rock tries to insight, it's not funny.
No, Grok is like just clueless to shit like that.
I'm sorry. He was very. I didn't know. He can be a bit like boastful, saying things that maybe aren't completely true, just to seem more powerful and well traveled and.
Oh,
kind
is
of
he a
thing.
bit of a posh soft lad?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
He
actually,
is.
that's a brilliant way.
Oh, okay. Well, if you say so.
So, he hasn't really traveled around through the Nine Hells, then, is what you're saying?
You fucking what?
Oh, yeah, I've fucking
Like,
been
Grok
to
just
all
stops drinking, just like, what?
No, to be honest, I don't totally know exactly where he's been. But I am going to say he probably has not been to the Nine Hells, or Celestia, or Fire Elemental Plane.
And
He was
what
just
about you? You're
pulling-
Where have you been?
Iverion, and that
And
is about it. That's it. I
What?
haven't traveled very much.
What do you mean the fucking layers of hells? There's the fucking land and there's the sea.
There are other planes of existence, and apart from this one that we're on.
Oh, fuck that. I just need the seas.
this entire time,
That's love-
Nalfian has not stopped staring at you, Eurydice. Like, he's
He's trying not.
He's just trying to get a read on you.
She is trying not to look nervous or suspicious. But she's just like, yes, I'm just sorry. It was a weird encounter. Also low key trying to hide the book.
Oh, are you hiding it, or do you have it in your hands?
I mean, I don't know. She probably wouldn't be able to hide it very well. She'd probably just like have it in like a satchel or something, but trying just to kind of keep it behind her and not noticeable. Because it's going to be quite hard to talk her way out of that one.
Do I notice the bag, Joe?
I mean,
Am I too insight? Probably not.
what's your passive perception?
12. Not very great.
Eurydice, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Oh no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, you don't notice it.
All right, that's fine.
I mean, what? He just turned up at Twig's house.
Yeah, strange how he just happened to know exactly where she was, huh?
Wait, no. Where is it you live, Eurydice?
I used to live up in the Riverlands. At a small town called Wheat Hill. And then I decided to travel around a little bit.
Oh, so you wrote to him to come and visit?
Well, no, he was looking for me, and I don't exactly know how he found me.
Okay, Grok would incite that. That's fucking weird. Like, Grok's stupid, but that's weird.
Eurydice is charismatic. I'm not. This is a problem.
Better than me.
Eurydice, are you lying?
Yeah.
Okay, make a deception check.
She's definitely not being totally truthful about the situation here.
That's called a lie? That's how that works?
Oh, shit!
Oh,
Grok,
fuck.
that's right as rain.
Whoa, well, I mean, it's a small town, so you know. He must have been worried about you if he was looking through the town. Fair play.
Yeah. Do you want another ale? I can go get you another. You downed that one pretty quick. I'll go get you another ale. She's good. Okay.
As she stands up, you'll go 2.
Got it. I'll go get them right now.
Okay.
Iverion will watch her walk away.
Oh, all right.
Because he's suspicious. Oh my god. But also, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So you watch her walk away. Eurydice, you get 3 more drinks. So for the 6 drinks total, we'll say that brings that up to 5 silver pieces. Or 6 silver pieces. You just round up. That just makes the most sense.
Use that devil gold.
Alrighty. You come back with 7 because you bought Grok 2.
Okay.
Alrighty. So you come back with 4 more drinks, 2 for Grok. And then the 3 of you continue to sit, chat, and drink. Anything in particular, or are we just going straight to Nalfian's fight?
I think Nalfian would drop it for now.
Okay.
Idle conversation. She's gonna ask how old Nalfian is because she doesn't know, and it's particularly hard to tell in elves.
You're gonna specifically ask him how old he is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's rude.
Never
Rude
ask
to ask
a lady her age.
Is he a lady?
Ooh.
No. 27. Eurydice,
Okay.
how old are you?
Now, it is rude to ask a lady her age. But I am 22.
I think I've been pretty honest so far. I've been, at least.
Yes, no, I didn't doubt that you were honest. Maybe a bit evasive about certain questions, but honest.
Grok's like
Um,
giggling, but it's more like a belly chuckle. This whole conversation.
and how old are you?
What, me?
Yeah.
Oh, shy. I don't know. I've spent. Oh, let me think. About 30 seasons on the seas. And I did that when I was a wee lad. Fuck. And he pulls his fingers out and starts counting, and like it takes him a couple of times. 42.
Oh. It's nice to know.
I've noticed you haven't answered the question.
I'm old for a hobgoblin, you see.
Which question?
Nalfian asked how old you are. He's not subtle about it. He's just straight.
Yeah, Nelfin is still staring at you here to see with this drink in his hand.
And she's, oh, I'm 22.
Oh, that wasn't hard, was it?
Oh? What do you want us about?
Nalfian will give her a little cheers and drink.
Okay.
Okay. Oh.
But
Watching all the people.
Stop. Okay, anyway, we carry on drinking. So
Okay.
Brian does.
Alrighty. So
Until I have to go get ready. Yeah.
you continue drinking as the fight gets closer. We'll say at that point, Izzy, you do make your way towards the arena, making your way into that inn. You can see that connected, sitting down at a table, are Nalfian, Grok, Eurydice, and all the rest of you see Izzy enter into that tavern.
We see her enter, is that what you said?
Yeah, you would see her, because if she was saying that she wanted to come and watch the fight, she would come into the tavern first, and you all would see her enter.
Oh yeah, then Nalfian would definitely like raise his glass and like wave her over to join us.
Izzy would wave and make a beeline straight for you guys.
Okay, all right, heading over towards them. Izzy sits down with you, and Nalfian, you probably have maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes until your fight.
Hey, Nalfian, I got a surprise for you.
Oh yes, for me. Let's see it.
I will pull out the dagger, fully complete, and hand it over to her.
Oh.
Teach her how to use it, and it's got blue runes etched down the blade.
Fucking beautiful. Izzy, you are a goddess on this earth, and I could not be more appreciative of you. Thank you so much. I hope you got my gift in exchange for this.
I did. It was unnecessary, but thank you.
Thank you. And Nalfian will give her a kiss on the cheek.
Okay, as you do so, her skin is cold. Like it's a not quite the feeling you would have expected.
I use my gauntlet to control Izzy.
Nalfian is not going to comment on that, but he is going to like ogle at his dagger for a hot moment. Really, you did a fantastic job, and I cannot wait to use this. And then I'll sheath it.
And if you get in trouble, just let me know. I can maybe help you from the sidelines if needed.
I don't think I'll need help, but thank you.
Okay.
All right. And then Izzy will order an ale. Like we'll wave like one of the waitresses over or something to get an ale.
Okay, yeah, sure. Barmaid comes over, takes your order, brings back one ale for 1 silver piece.
Oh, also, Joe, during this time, I would have hired that band to play my entrance music.
Oh, yes, of course. Of course.
Very important.
Yes, it's very, very, very important. Okay.
Listen, Nalfian, I mean, I hope you don't think it was cheeky of me to ask to get some money. I mean, if you need me to take some punches and fall down, you know, as like an intro fart to make it look better, I don't mind. I can take it.
I can guarantee you if I ask Aldous to give you something before the big fight, absolutely. And it'll be a true fight. Kick some fucking ass, my friend. And Nalfian would definitely, before the big fight starts, try to find Aldous to get Graka. Gotta get that pre-show fight going.
Yeah. Of course. Okay. So, easy enough. You're able to find Aldous sometime before the fight, and you can see that he's currently chit-chatting with a couple of different people, sees you, and he says, "Oh! Nalfian, my boy, there you are. I thought you weren't going to show up today. But I'm glad
I told you I was
you
gonna
did.
be here. I don't break my promises now, do I? Listen, Aldous, do me a favor, will you? I have a great friend. His name is Grok. He's fantastic. Give him a fight before I go out.
You know what? I saw him with you just the other day, and you know what I think? I think I can do that. Tell me, Grok, how do you feel about people bigger than you? Like a lot bigger, wider, taller, more everything. Think you can take somebody bigger than you?
Well, I can say bigger or smaller, I don't give a shit. I'll just punch him in the fucking face.
I love that. All right, here's what we're going to do. Do you want bigger, or do you want a lot of people smaller than you?
Oh, you give me whatever, mate. I'm not arsed. Also, is it cheeky? Am I allowed to bet on myself? Is that allowed?
I would be upset if you didn't.
Well, how about you give your money to Nalfian and have Nalfian bet on you? Just for, consistency and,
Oh, was I not supposed to say that? Sorry.
yeah, it's a little illegal, but that's fine. That's fine. Just, make sure.
Oh, fuck, I do it all the time.
Nalfian, you make it so hard sometimes. But that's all right. It's all right. It's all right. From now on, though, this fight and here on out, please give your money to me, and I will.
That's something I also need to talk to you about when this is over, if you don't mind.
All right.
But we can talk when it's over. Let's get Grok somebody to chew on, shall we?
Well, why don't we talk about it now? It seems kind of important.
All this, I think it'd be better if we wait till later. And Nalfian's just gonna give him a look.
All right, if you say so. All right, Grok, you know what? It's gonna happen for you. I have a troop of halfling monks there's about 7 of them, all right? And I think, honestly, it'll be a fair match.
Starts keeling over laughing. Fucking halflings! Halflings! Alright then.
Yeah, halflings, I know.
I'm fucking down pint glasses bigger than fucking halflings.
All right, that's okay. I have a lot of confidence in you, Grok. All right, they're new to town, and I think that you're gonna run the block with them. All right. Oh man. Alrighty, well then I'll go ahead and have you open then, and all right, I think we're good. I'll have you open. Now if you'll come on right after he wins, presumably, or could lose, but probably he'll win.
He'll fucking win.
Alrighty. Well, 2 of you should come with me. We need to get you prepped. And the rest of your friends, I'll make sure to give them some good spots so they can see the action real well, all right?
One second, Grok. And Izzy will touch his chest, and Grok in neon green will appear across his chest.
It's fucking old Jersey.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh
That way
my.
they'll all know who wins.
That is brilliant. I can't believe I never thought of that before. Oh my god.
Grok looks down and says, "What does that say?" Because he's reading it upside down.
It's your name, Grok. It says Grok.
It looks like Krug. Krug. Oh, it's Grok. Right, nice one.
Hey man, get out there and kick some fucking ass, alright? Your mouth will just pat him on the back.
And just to make sure, I don't kill them, right?
Oh yeah, no, don't do your best not to do that. That's kind of against the rules.
That's how we make sure that it's legal still, that we can do this without having to be underground somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, I'll hit them with the blunt in my anchor then. They'll be alright.
Yeah, most damage can be undone as long as it's not permanent death. So, yeah, just try and make sure that it's bludgeoning, concussing damage, not stabbing, poking, prodding, death damage, all right? All right.
Grok nods slowly.
Hopefully, you know what? Not going to worry about it. All right, you two come with me. The two of you, then, I will come back and get you momentarily so you can have some good seats. Alrighty. So, Eurydice, Izzy, the two of you are left behind as Fight Master Aldous wraps one arm around your shoulder, Nalfi, and the other one around yours, Grok, and continues to push you forward towards the arena and into the preparing area, training pits where you actually just were earlier today, Nalfian. So, you make your way in, and you are beginning to do your training and your different things before you get started. Aldous letting you know your opponent, Grok, and then sort of sending you off with some other people, Grok, so that way you can be taken to the right part of the arena where you're going to be coming out of in opposition to those halfling monks. And then comes to you, Nalfian, and says, all right, listen, Nalfian, I'm going to be really honest with you. And he's going to kind of pull you into one of those rooms where you were just training in. And he's going to say,
What's the problem?
listen, there's no problem, but I know what's happening. Lord Bartold and I, Henwick and I, we're good friends. We go back a long time. I know what's happening, and I know you're leaving, and I know you don't have a choice, and not that you care or want it, but I'm happy to see you're moving on from this place, doing something, leaving. As much as I loved making money off of you, I'm happy to know that you're moving on and doing something better.
Well, I'll be honest. When I first got here, this isn't where I envisioned myself staying for more than maybe a few days, but I will say, thanks to you, I think that this is not that bad of a fucking place to be, so I appreciate you for making these last few months meaningful.
Well, that is the nicest thing you've ever said, you fucking asshole. And he comes in and he gives you a big old bear hug.
Yeah, I'll hug him back.
Yeah, he smacks onto your back, and he pulls away, hands on your shoulders, and he says, "All right, just letting you know that this lady that you're going up against, she's gonna be the person who pretty much becomes the top dog around here. So you're still gonna win, Nalf. I have a lot of confidence in you, but she's good. So
you want me to make her look good, is what you're saying?
I know that's hard for your pride to do, but as much as you can.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, give her a few good punches. I mean, listen, nobody has ever come close to beating you, and she doesn't have to. Let her land a couple of punches, and then you can do what you do best.
Alright, I'll see what I can do. Got my word.
Alright. Smacks your shoulder. Says, alright, well, you better get ready, because Grok's gonna run out, and hopefully he can take all 7 of those halflings. I don't know how that's gonna work.
Don't fucking worry. It won't be long.
I hope you're right. Alrighty, so then he heads into back into the tavern. He gets Izzy and Eurydice, takes you up to the central area where you are. So then I have to ask, Izzy, Eurydice, are the two of you going to be placing any bets on Nalfian or Grok?
It'd be stupid not to, I think. She's gonna ask Izzy, are you gonna go and bet on these two?
Well, of course.
Good, because I had the same idea. What's the rate like? So how much do you get if they win?
Depends on how high the odds are.
Yeah, for Grok and the halflings, It
Is
is.
it 7-1?
No, it's fairly even. So, whatever money you put in, it will be doubled. If your side wins. However, with Nalfian, there are very, very high odds in Nalfian's favor. So it's pretty much like a 10% return if you bet on Nalfian.
Okay. And I'll put 5 gold on each of them to win.
Okay, alrighty. So if Grok wins, that is 10 gold, and if Nalfian wins, that's 5 silver.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna write that down.
Grok would have gave Nalfian 23 gold to bet on him.
I will match his 23 for Grok.
For 46.
Yeah, Grok.
Okay. So Grok, so 46, and then you're doing 5 Eurydice.
Yeah.
Grok. Okay, anybody placing any other bets on Grok? Izzy, are you placing any bets on Grok, or are you saving all your money for Nalfian?
No, 15 on Grok and 10 on Nalf.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Since
That
the
makes
odds are stacked so much in his favor.
Yeah. Nalf.
Now, don't you throw that fight.
Nalf. Let's see. 5 from Eurydice, and then 10 from Izzy. Thank you for doing that. It also makes the math easier. Okay. So, and then Nalfian, are you giving Grok money to bet on you, or are you betting on yourself?
Freaking betting on myself. What are you talking about? I've been doing that shit from day one.
All right. Okay. So, then how much are you betting on yourself?
Let me see how much money I have left. 20 gold.
20
How
gold
much
on you?
did I pay? I already forgot.
10 and 5, or 10 and 15. 25 total.
Okay.
And then you said, how much? 20? Alfian?
Yes.
20. Nalf. Okay, alrighty. So that means if you win Nalfian, you'll get 2 gold extra.
Dope.
Yeah. The odds are too far in your favor. You messed up. You should have been worse.
Sorry.
Okay. So with that, we will go ahead and get started. So with that, Grok, you are up first on this fight. You are the pre-show. You are opening up the show, and it's gotta be good. So you are the one opening up the fight, and you can, let me move you to the arena here. So you can see as you're peering out of the gates to the to the arena, you can see that there are hundreds of people that are now stacked shoulder to shoulder in this arena, just waiting and on the edge of their seat, waiting for this first fight to start. People bickering back and forth, and you can see Aldous step forward up onto this main area right here, and you can see standing behind him, or sitting behind him, is Izzy and Eurydice. He gets up there and he says, all right, ladies and gentlemen, if I may please have your attention. Please and thank you. So, what we have today is a match of the century. Not only do we have the one, the only, you know him, you love him, the Butcher, Nalfian, going up against a mystery opponent, but also we have a close friend of Nalfian, a man as wide as a ship and wields a weapon after his own name, the Anchor. And at that point, the gates open in front of you, Grok, as you are supposed to walk forward.
Grok will walk out with his anchor kind of like slung on his shoulder.
Okay. So, all of the people talking back and forth, anchor on your shoulder, people cheering as soon as you enter, the Anchor, the Butcher, yelling and shouting. But then you see that the crowd quiets down a little bit as Aldous brings his hands down, and he says, "And then, from a far-off land, far out west, we have the sorrowful 7. And as the gates open right across from you, you can see running out about 3.5 feet tall 7 halflings in very light clothing. And he said, "May the victor have the spoils." And there is a large rings.
As soon as that happens, Grok is gonna beat his chest and cast heroism.
Okay, so Grok, beat your chest, you cast heroism, and then here's the thing. Even though you're outnumbered 1-7, Grok, you're gonna win. But I would like to ask you to roll 3 strength checks for me to see how much you win, how hard you win.
Just 3 straight strength rolls?
Yeah, 3 straight strength rolls. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. What the hell? Okay, alrighty, Grok. So you tell me, what are you doing? So you can see all 7 of them running at you, very light on their feet, very quick, very fast. What are you doing?
He's literally gonna let out a full-on, monstrous goblin roar and charge at them like a fucking golf club and swing them out like bowling pins.
Okay, alrighty. So right off the bat, you are able to knock into 3, and they are sent flying and immediately knocked unconscious. Their backs slam up against the walls of the arena. Anytime that one of these halflings are slammed up to the arena, the crowd in that section goes crazy, shouting, "The anchor! The anchor! The anchor!" Shouting for you, in love with you already. There are still 4 more left. And you can see that they do try and make a few quick jabs at you, so we'll just say they take 4 hit points off your health. As they take all these quick jabs, but you're able to block. Some of them hit your armor, and then still 4 more left. How are you taking care of, we'll say 2 of them?
So the other 2, I probably, if one of them's trying to, jab me from behind, I would throw a really fucking nasty elbow and, try and, break a nose.
Oh, God, so yeah.
From behind.
Yeah, throwing your elbow back, and not even knowing if it's there, just throwing it back to try and get him away from you makes direct contact with the nose. You can hear it crack, and the halfling goes, and falls over onto the ground, blood just pouring from his nose as he's just yelling and screaming in pain, and scoots away from you.
The other one, I'm gonna, Sparta kick into a wall.
God. So he's, standing right in front of you as the other 2 are taking a moment to catch their breath. You pick up your foot, and he says, "No, please, no!" And you just kick into his chest and send him flying 15 feet into the wall. Boom! Slam! As the crowd near him just goes wild and crazy, shouting, "The anchor!" And they are going insane for you. So then there are 2 more who try and run and jab and take these flying kicks at you, and we'll say they take 5 more hit points off, but you're still going strong, and they're the ones who are actually in danger. So how do you take care of these last 2 halflings?
So probably one of them, he'd pick up with, he's not going to use his gauntlet, he's going to lift them with that arm, and the first one, he's going to basically, he's just going to punch him until fucking teeth come out, and just say, "Sorry kid, it's for the crowd," and then just start bashing his head in.
Okay, alrighty. So easily dispatching the second to last one, but that last one, you just pick him up by the scruff of his robes and say that he's, "No, please, just let me go." Just pummeling into his face, and the crowd goes insane as bits and pieces of teeth and blood just go splattering into the sand until his body is completely limp. His face looks almost like a wet rag, as all the skin is just loose and bloated from the amount of bruising that has happened right on there, as he just hangs limp. And Aldous says, all right, ring the bell, and ding, ding, is a large gong. "Our victor, the anchor!" And the crowd goes absolutely fucking insane for you, Grok. Absolutely crazy for you. They love you. Do you drop the halfling?
Yeah, I'll drop him. I'll drop him to the ground, but I'd say, So I'd whisper saying, "Sorry, mate."
He's unconscious. He does not acknowledge you at all.
Grog would absolutely still say it, but that's the thing. It'd be half-assed. Sorry, and then just drop him from like normal height.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so boom, drop him. He falls onto the ground, not moving at all. There are some people who come out to the arena, some priestesses and priests who dole out some healing magic to recuperate them a little bit, but then drag them off as they're too weak to stand and walk away. So with that, Grok, you are the victor of that match. So Grok, you come away with, let's see, what was that? 23 more gold.
Nice.
Yeah. Izzy and Eurydice, in your excitement, you use your prestidigitations and just shoot off fireworks in different directions as the crowd is going even more wild for him. Eurydice, you gain an additional 5 gold, and then Izzy, you gain an additional 15 gold. Okay.
Nice.
Alrighty. So then we come to the main event. So, so with that, the crowd settles down a little bit again, and oh my God. Aldous says, all right, I know that was exciting, but I know that all of you have come here today waiting for one moment in particular. And this is a special day, not just for all of you, not just for me, but for the Butcher himself. And the crowd goes even more insane at the mention of the name of Nalfian's stage name, his fighter name. They go insane, absolutely roaring for him, and he brings up his hands. He says, "This is a special day for all of us because this is the farewell match of the Butcher." And there's a small bit of silence that falls over the crowd. The Butcher has served us well these past several months in this town, giving you countless hours of entertainment, and for some of you, putting you in your place when you just deserved it. But he now knows, and all of you know, just how great he can be. Heading off to the cities of Raven Rock, Verdulka, even to New Afera, in search of the best matches yet to come. Oh, God. So, without further ado, well, before we get to him, his opponent for the day, a woman from a land south, from Tarkir, and I know what you're saying, she might... Yeah. She might be from a far-off land that we don't agree with, but she is one of the best fighters I've ever seen grace an arena. So, no stage name necessary. I welcome with a warm embrace the fighter Bekla, and you hear that there is music that plays as she begins to enter, as the audience begins to cheer and shout as the music is going crazy. For any other wrestling fans, I hope that you're enjoying this. And you can see her enter, running in, bright red and orange hair. Oh gosh, you can see her enter. Yeah, right. Isn't it great? As she's running around, definitely working the crowd. She definitely already has an idea. Nalfian, you can see that she already has some natural charisma to her. As she's working the crowd, and although they don't maybe like her because she is from Tarkir, but they definitely do enjoy her presence. As she's working them, getting them to chant and jeer along, and eventually, the musicians do fade a little bit, as it seems as though they're not just here for you, Nalfian, but eventually the music does fade as she slowly begins to pace around, and you can see she has this long quarterstaff that is tipped with metal, almost like a very long mace, and wearing studded leather armor with different interconnecting pieces of fabric of gray and green layering underneath. So, she enters, and eventually the music fades, and Aldous laughs to himself and he says, "Now, as great as that was, you don't think that we wouldn't give our reigning champion an equally as great, if not more impressive entrance. So I welcome to the arena, the one, the only, the Butcher of Sandpoint, Nalfian." And Nalf, with that, the music that you wanted to play, bagpipes and all, as your gate opens, you enter. How do you enter, Nalfian, as you cross the threshold?
Okay, I cast Fairy Fire, okay, and it's like
Okay.
glowing around me, and there's also pyro set up, so as soon as I enter,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
just fireworks on all sides.
Oh, I was asking, like, do you walk in slow? Do you walk in fast? What do you do?
You know how, like, fucking Willy Wonka does that shit? Where he, like, kinda
Falls
walks
over
out
and
slow
rolls?
Falls over and rolls. He does, like, some fucking flips. He does that.
Okay, Willy Wonka. Charlie in the Chocolate Factory? Yeah. Okay, so as you do, you can tell that there was all around the edges of the ring these fireworks and explosives set up that as soon as you enter and you fall, and as soon as you roll and come back up, all around you, firing out amongst the entire arena, shooting off up into the sky. Each flame sets off into this multicolored display of fireworks that crackles and then begins to fall towards the people in the arena. And you can hear Grok screaming next to the other three as you slowly begin to walk in, drinking all of this in. The audience, as loud as they were for her, it is nothing compared to the way that they cheer for you. So, Nalfian, is there anything else you do for your entrance, or do you just get to it?
He would have had somebody backstage, like, make sure his voice could be, like, magically heard over everyone.
Oh, yeah.
So
for
he
sure.
Cut his pre-match promo.
Oh, his promo? Okay, yeah. So you got that? Somebody set up using thaumaturgy on you.
Right. So he's just kind of, like, pacing back and forth, looking at her, and he says, "You know, women are typically much better fighters than most men. Much more deadly, much more clever. But I'm still gonna make you my bitch. And then I'm gonna attack her."
Okay, so as you move to attack her, she doesn't flinch because she says, as you begin to run at her, she says, "Well, the problem is, I'm the man."
I fucking hate you for that reference.
I'm sorry. So with that, the music stops, the bell rings, and you charge at her. So I would like you to make, Nalfian, I'd like you to make 3 dexterity checks, all with advantage, because as soon as you attack, I'm assuming I know what happens in that moment, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you go to move in for an attack. Alrighty, very cool. And then let's just see here. Okay, oop, that's not good. Okay. Okay. Alrighty.
In particular, the first thing he's going to do, he is going to run towards her. He's going to jump, flip over her, but as he's flipping, the shadow version of himself is going to stay in front of her, and the real Nalfian is on the other side.
Oh god, okay. So she swirls around her mace and she goes to smack into where you were, but it just, the shadow backsteps out of the way as you land behind her. 3-point landing, stand up. What do?
I tap her on the shoulder.
Tap her on the shoulder. She's very quick. She goes to spin around, but what do you do as she's spinning? You have enough moment
I
to
am going
get in
to
something.
baseball slide underneath her and bring my dagger to draw a long cut along her thigh.
Oh, okay. All right. So as she's spinning, you take that opportunity, sliding underneath her, just way faster than she is. Although she is dexterous, you are way faster than her.
Great.
You slip
my
and slide.
shadow is going to do the same thing, but in reverse. Instead, he is going to slide upwards and slice at her face. So one person's going between her legs, and the other one is like going over her shoulder.
Okay, already sounds good. And the crowd is going insane. They were afraid at first, but now they are in it. They love this so much. So you can see that she is very quickly trying to recoup herself, figure out what's going on, but those 2 slashes do happen, and you can see that definitely takes her stamina down by 1 peg, where she's breathing, focuses, calms herself, and then she goes out. And you can see with that second roll that she is able to focus on where you are, get the shadows in, with the shadow in you. She finally gets a moment and she takes her opportunity, and she does end up smacking you with that staff, the blunted metal end of it. You can see as soon as she makes contact, there is this like lick of flame that comes off it as it slams into your
I
side.
will sell the fuck out of that. Like, it was the most dastardly thing she could have done to me.
Like
to the point where I'm gonna take a knee.
Like HBK cell
Yes.
with Hulk Hogan.
Hulk
Okay, where it's
Hogan, HBK selling over the fucking top.
okay.
I'm
All
gonna,
right.
fling myself to the other side of the arena because that's how much it hurt.
Okay. So
Trying
yeah,
to
you
put her over.
fling over and you go flying using your own momentum to send you flying. And the crowd, there's a very large pop for her, seeing that you were able to, after such an impressive blow on her, that she was able to return it. And she kind of cocks her head at you and slowly begins to move in a much more defensive position. But with that 19, that is enough for you to be able to really do whatever you want in this moment. What are you doing? On the ground now, on a knee.
Great. I want to just stay there, and I want to have my shadow double round and just run at her. And I want it to hit her, but as soon as it hits her, I want it to like dissipate, like explosion of shadow.
Oh shit! Okay.
And then as that happens, I would like real Nalthian to be right behind. As soon as there's an explosion of shadow, I would like to get her like literally into suplex position and just German suplex her over my top shoulder.
Oh god. Okay. Alrighty. So you do that. You and your shadow both running at her in a zigzag lattice formation. Going back and forth, confusing her, making sure that she doesn't know which one is which, especially looking directly into the sunlight, not knowing which one is which. Your shadow does run up to her, going to stab her, poofs away in her face, and the shadow just kind of wraps around her, and you're able to move your way around, grab around her waist, lift her up, and slam her back on the back of her neck, and you can see she, fuck. As she goes to stand up, and you can see she's definitely really dizzy. I'd like you to make one more dexterity check. With advantage.
Okay.
Because your shadow.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. So you can see in that moment, the two of you charge at each other. Your blade and dagger meets her staff, and you break away as both of you had rolled an 8. So I'd like you to make another dexterity check with advantage.
Gotta put her over. Can't put her over too hard. Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it's over. How do you end it now, Fian? She rolled a 6. It's over.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. If that's the case, I will bring my shadow back, and the two of us will just, like, one end, I will grab her by the arms, the other will grab her by the legs, and we will just toss her into the fucking air and just step out and let her fall on her face.
Oh, shit, okay. Alrighty, so you are locked, you push away, break away, you conjure your shadow again, grabs onto the back of her head, sort of brings her back, grabs onto her arms, you grab onto her legs, throw her up. Do you throw her into the audience, or are you just throwing her straight up?
Oh no, just straight up.
Okay.
But like with fucking height, and when she lands, I will do one more thing.
Okay.
She should land straight on her face.
Okay, so you throw her up, and you can see she gets maybe 10, 15 feet of air, and as she comes crashing down, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna simply put my boot on her back, with my rapier, I'm just going to slice off her pinky finger.
Oh, God. Okay. So she slams, crack, and you can tell that she's only very slightly breathing, barely hanging in there. Foot on her back, rapier, stabbing in towards the pinky, and then carving until eventually there's a small puddle of blood that is coming out of her hand, and the pinky is free.
Great. I will pick it up and I will thrust into the air and just show everybody this lovely little index finger, or pinky I have now.
The audience pops crazy loud. They loved every second of it, and you can tell that all of these people in this arena are going to miss you so much when you're gone.
I will just soak that shit up. And I will
Alrighty.
literally keep standing on her back, so she tries to get up, she cannot move.
Okay, so she does try and push herself up, but then she collapses back down, and and the gates open, and there are some priestesses that are trying to come out, priests and priestesses that are trying to come out to grab her to try and heal her, help her out. Do you let them have her?
Yeah.
All right, so you let your foot off. They take her on a small leather cot, taking her out of the arena as you stand there, soaking in the love the audience is giving you. Okay, so that means Eurydice, you would gain 1 silver piece. Izzy, you would gain 1 extra gold piece, and then Nalfian, you would gain 2 extra gold pieces. But you did manage to get her over quite well, although one time was not on purpose, which made it all the more authentic. But Nalfian, you won. So, with that victory, too many WWE references in one.
I appreciate.
It's okay, I appreciated it too. So, you then reap your spoils. You get what you wanted. The people cheer for you, and then what do you do?
For a moment, he would stand after they take her off, he would stand in the middle and just kind of make his form appear, and they would raise each other's hands in victory.
Okay, so the shadow grabs your hand, you lift it up, he matches, the two of you look at each other and smile and look out to the audience, each one of you waving to the audience, perfectly succinct
if
and
I
matching.
can see Eurydice, I will fucking blow her the most arrogant kiss ever.
The shadow does it as well. 2 for 1.
And then
A little wisp of shadow actually floats from the shadow and floats over towards Eurydice, and then sort of poofs in her face.
Great. And then I'll make my way off.
All right, you make your way back to the locker room. Not jumped in the locker room, luckily. You make your way, the people still going crazy, as that was the match of the year for most of these people. But you make your way out, people still continuing to chat and rave about the fight that they just saw between the Butcher and Bekla and Grok and the Sorrowful Seven. So, Izzy, Eurydice, and Grok, you all are very easily able to go in and find him. And you can see that he is just making his way around the locker room. Nalfian, you can see them catch up with you.
Oh, I see them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you would see them, yeah. Making their way into the training area locker room.
He just has his arms outstretched like I'm the fucking best. And he'll just say, "Well, did you enjoy the show?"
There's 2 of you.
Not always, and technically, it's always just me. There's just or another time, but it's pretty fucking cool, right?
Oh no, it's sick. I mean, the way you fucking ducked under, and then it's like, actually, no, you bitch, I'm here. Fucking nice one, mate.
Thanks, and
Grok is very excited right now.
and I see you've won too. Fucking murdered 7 halflings. See, I told you it'd be easy.
I mean, I felt a bit bad at the end. It was like beating up kids. I mean, I've done that before, but you know.
Hey, you've made money off of it. That's all that matters. Is everybody here? Is like everybody?
Yep, everybody except for Twig.
Aw, she's being wholesome at home.
Twig has rabbits.
Very wholesome.
Eurydice, Isty, how was your night at the fighting pits?
Well, it was interesting. You both did amazing.
Yes, I was thoroughly impressed, actually.
Good. That's good to know.
I feel like I shouldn't have punched his teeth out. Should I go apologize?
No, he knew what he was getting into when he fucking signed up. You did good.
You know,
I mean, I cut her fucking pinky off, so...
that was a little bit of overkill.
Hey, you gotta give the people what they want. It was a way to go out.
That's true.
Right, well, I say we celebrate and get fucking wasted.
Sure. I will buy all of you a drink.
2.
And she will walk by, and she is going to give Nalfion a kiss on the cheek, and then walk away and go and get drinks.
If she didn't respond to it, he'd be shouting 2 until she acknowledges it.
Okay, so with that, as all of you follow after Eurydice headed towards the tavern to drink away the night and enjoy your victory, knowing that in just a couple of days, your downtime will come to an end. You'll have to have dinner with Aunt Beth in the manor, and then eventually set sail for the city of Raven Rock.
Don't say it.
That is where we're going to go ahead and end our session.
No.
Woo!
We gotta have dinner with it.
I know it's 5 minutes early, but it's just that dinner's too much to do in 5 minutes.
What do
Can we
you
not
mean?
just like? Can we not just
Maybe we
roleplay
could go over.
really
Maybe that's a good way to
drunken?
deal with that.
I think you underestimate Rock's dinner abilities.
Oh god. Alrighty. Well, thank you. So look at that, 15 viewers. Hey, that's so cool. Thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate you. Oh my gosh, there was a sub. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That was amazing of you. Oh, is that YouTube? I'm not exactly sure. Regardless, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Honestly, it's really amazing that people are enjoying the stuff that we're doing. It really makes me quite happy and overwhelmed with joy. So thank you so much. So that is the end of our session. Come back next Saturday to determine or to figure out how dinner's gonna go. I'm curious to see as well. And check us out on Tuesday, the Salamander Coast, and then on Friday for the Explorers of Ephera, and then on Saturdays for the Isles of Iverion. And starting just tonight, we will also have Into Jahorus, which is actually not a campaign that I DM. It is a campaign that I play in, that actually our Jareth here, right below me, as Izzy, that he DMs. So if you come back here in about an hour, you will find that tonight. So I think that is it. I'm going to go ahead and play that intro one more time because I think it's awesome. But then we will be out of here. So thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I hope that you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. Farewell! Ba-ba-bow!